Okay.
Ready.
Sweet. Here we go. Episode number... I put on my sheet 42. I was very, very backwards today. 24. God, it seems like such a fall... that number seems so big to me. Like, can you imagine when we're there at 42?
Oh, yeah.
I can't fathom that yet.
That's going to be... Yeah.
I can't fathom that yet.
We've already done.
It's crazy to me. Alright, so we are at episode 24. Really? So Courtney's got a quick announcement. Instagram.
At the _story thus far. You did that on purpose.
No, go ahead. Take another drink. What was that Instagram again?
At the _story thus far.
Awesome. Sean.
And we have story thus far at yahoo.com for the email.
Awesome. One more time with that Instagram, would you?
You sure right now?
No, we got it the first two times I asked. Alright, so...
I hope we did.
Who's
Gerard?
Oh, yeah. The guy didn't know how to spell.
Yeah.
Alright, so another quick announcement is that we are going to have this show, and then we are going to be on a short 2-week hiatus. A couple of us are going to be overseas surfing the lava. And a couple of us are going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. So we will have a 2-week hiatus, and but we'll be back. I think we're good unless anybody has anything else. No? Awesome. Alright, so the story thus far, Valor's Ransom. When we last saw you guys, the four of you were dealing with a tragedy that had impacted the whole of Baldur's Gate. Every ship had been burned and destroyed. Dozens had died, assassinated in the early morning, and now you were tasked to find any actionable intelligence, and in return you would receive unlimited access to the esteemed merchant's quarter. As well, you were hired to end the threat of the sea wolves, as they continue to pose a very real threat to every privateer on the sea, as well as every citizen within Baldur's Gate. On top of all this, the imminent threat that the guild poses to each and every one of you still looms very close, like a coiled snake ready to strike. Kohl, you ended up blowing the door off of the clam hammer, and then promptly purchased said establishment with Greer Nordsock in charge of its well-being. The four of you took the only vessel in Baldur's Gate, a 20-foot or so dinghy in dry dock that was in the midst of repairs. It took the better part of 2 days, but you did make it to Triton's Wound. It's the deepest marine trench in the Sword Coast, and you finally actually did make it to Terra's Tears. Formerly Terra, your ship was called the Wreckless Abandon. There you met with your former first mate, now captain of Terra's Tears, Captain the Gallows Gwinmyl. After a couple of uncomfortable glances shared with Barag, Gallows tells you, Terra, that the purpose of the Parlay would be to guarantee your end as a privateer, and she would call off her vendetta against you. The proposal, Terra, that you colorfully rejected. She revealed that she had in her clutches your older brother, Danzin, chained to a cannonball and thrown off the side of the ship into the recently chummed ocean despite a desperate rescue attempt. Her last words to you as she raised her hands in the air and smiled at you was Parlay. So, Valor's Ransom. Danzin is in the drink. You are all surrounded and outnumbered by the crew of Terra's Tears, who have not only not made a move or advanced to attack on you, but stand idly and watch. So, what would you like to do?
Alright.
So, I draw both of my pistols and just point them in each direction, just have each one trained on one of the pirates that's surrounding us.
Okay.
And I say to Gefelda was her name, right?
Yeah.
I say to Gefelda, now, I might be misunderstanding the rules of Parlay, but whatever that was, and I point to where the unknown to me gentleman had dropped into the ocean, that seems like a bad faith move.
That was just me making a point.
Point taken.
A point that you're a fucking bitch. And so I'm gonna pull out my Frostbrand dagger and turn to Barag and Daedalus. You two, can you try and get Danzin something? And I'm like flustered, so I'm trying to think of something on the top of my head.
So I look at her and I just whisper to my armor, clock off room clock off room and my armor, I make it disperse, and then I just take a run. After my armor goes, I'm gonna just take a run and just jump right into the water.
Sure. As your armor comes off piece by piece magically, and reassembles in a kind of a standing formation, you go to jump off the side of the ship, but the crew kind of like block your path. Not aggressively, they're not taking action against you, but they see where you're going, and they just kind of create a barrier of bodies.
So I look back at Grifelda and I draw a sword towards one of the pirates, and I say, Eddie, you better let me through.
Sure, so you know I can't do that, Barag.
You better, or there's going to be blood on your hands.
I'm dripping in blood, but so are you, General.
Yeah, well, ours is for a good cause. You're just an ass.
I'll never deny that, Daedalus.
Yeah, we'll see your head on a pike. I guarantee it.
Relax, Daedalus. Let me handle this. Eddie, take it up with Terra, but don't let her brother die, or it's going to get worse for you.
There's only one person it's going to get worse for. I just want a simple yes.
A simple yes to what? To what? Just abandon my life?
Abandon the sea, dear. She doesn't want you anymore. Neither do I.
How do you know? Are you the sea?
Daedalus, stay out of this.
So I look towards the chum ocean and I look back at her. I will on one occasion. You leave my family alone and you answer questions.
Boys, let him pass. So they kind of part, giving Barag an open channel to the side of the ship.
I run after him to go jump into.
I jump in with my helmet of water breathing on.
Sure. Make a perception roll, both of you.
I'll give you one of my inspirations. I rolled a 2.
Sure.
And I will probably
I
just
will do the same.
That's not good.
Use them up early, boys.
Oh, wonderful. Don't even bother with me.
I rolled an 8.
Okay. All right. So you both jump in.
Oh, great.
Now I will say, let me roll a percentile die. Chances are pretty good. So I'll say for both of you, 60% chance. Okay. You're okay. Daedalus is not okay.
Uh-oh.
So you dive into the red water. As soon as you dive in, you can feel bodies of oceanic life all around you. It's really, really hard to see even with your night vision. But night vision only allows you to see when there's low light conditions. If it's murky or muddy, you still can't see through solid objects. So,
Yeah.
it's still very hard for you to see. And you are surrounded by sharks.
Yay.
Daedalus, you land on top of one, so you can either Well, actually, you can do whatever you want, but you do land straight on top of one. You are going to take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
No animal handling check?
These are not trained animals.
Oh, darn it.
Not yet.
Good
I
attempt, though.
tried.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay. So what do you do, Daedalus Hartwell?
So, is he about to like take a bite out of me or something?
Well, you land on top of him. It has not attacked yet, but sharks are sharks, and you know that they will.
Does poison spray work underwater? And will it hit him?
You're asking me?
Yes.
I don't know. Give it a shot. What are you gonna do, Daedalus?
I think I'm gonna try and chill touch it, since I'm right on top of it.
All right, now chill touch, I believe. Wow, look at us going into spells, man. It feels like we haven't done this in a long time, right?
Thump, thump, thump.
I know. All right, let's go. Chill touch. All right, so chill touch. You create. See, this isn't actually you touching it. You create ghostly skeletal hand in the space of a creature within range. You make a spell attack range and the creature against a creature to assail it with the chill touch of the grave. I will make it cool and say that it's like a ghostly pirate hand come up from the drink to grab the shark. So yeah. So you just have to make a spell, a ranged spell attack, and then you hit it with 1d8 necrotic damage if you do hit it.
Okay. Oh, that's a 19.
19. Wow, you can barely suppress that. All right, so 1d8. What level are you casting? Oh, you cast it at what level?
Well, it's a cantrip.
Well, you're at 5th level, so it's 2d8.
2D.
It automatically goes up to 2d8 at 5th level. So
Okay. 5 and a 4, so that's...
nice. 9 points of damage. So excellent. Now we are going to go ahead and roll initiative. Okay, so go ahead and roll initiative.
Alright. Give me something good here, Daddy.
Here. That was cockeyed. I wish this. There we go.
18.
I also have 18.
Okay, who has a higher natural dexterity?
He probably does.
I think that would be me, so 17.
17. All right, so that's our initiative. Barag, Daedalus, and the sharks. You are going to be tangling with one shark.
Yay.
All right, so
the one he's riding?
the one he's on top of.
The one I already
So you
did.
just see this coming out of the water. You just kind of see this spectral clad, like almost like a pirate arm come up from the ocean and grab onto the almost the snout area of the shark. As you see Daedalus on top of it, just muttering words. You see magical energy explode, and this spectral hand comes out of the water and grabs onto like the snout of the shark, and instantly you just see the water just get red with blood as you see pus and boils just immediately explode instantly right off of its face. Is that gonna end your turn?
Yes.
Okay, Barag.
Alright,
You do not have swimming as a feat, right?
no. So I will be at disadvantage, I'm assuming, right?
And you will be at half speed after movement.
Half speed, so I'll be at 15, I think it is. Yeah, so I'll have 15 movement. Am I in close vicinity to the shark and Daedalus?
Yeah.
Yeah? Within like...
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much jumped at the same time.
Okay.
He just happened to land right on top of the shark. And you were like right next to it.
Sucker! I got better aim!
But I mean, you see Daedalus do something, and all of a sudden you just see this explosion of pus and blood in the water as you're kind of seeing what's going on with Daedalus.
So I draw my 2 swords, and I will take 3 attacks at the shark.
Now, these are all going to be at disadvantage because you're underwater.
Yeah.
Obviously, your vision is obscured, so... but go ahead and roll your first attack.
nat 20
Nice.
at disadvantage.
Well, yeah, I mean,
12, 23.
23 does hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
Alright, that's 1d8.
So Kohl, you're seeing this all kind of you and Terra, kind of you hear it more than you see it.
I turn to Gefelda and I say, "Now am I to understand that I'm being held captive?"
I'm not holding you captive.
Okay then. And so I back up or move forward to where we, the side of the ship where we pulled up our boat.
Mm-hmm.
And did we? I don't recall. Did we climb like a ladder or a rope?
Yeah.
A ladder. Okay. So I just keeping my guns pointed at everybody as I retreat. I just make my way down the ladder to the boat. And Terra is still on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look at her. You coming with?
I got business to attend to, boy.
Fair enough. And I lower myself into the boat and I start to navigate it towards where I think Barag and Daedalus are.
Easily enough. I mean, I'm not even going to make you roll a perception check.
Okay.
It's a pretty big thing going on right now. I mean, you see Daedalus on top of a shark,
Okay.
on top of the water, and you see this a lot of blood all over the place. You rolled that hit, right? Your first attack?
Yeah, and I just rolled the second, which would be a modified 20.
Okay.
And I'm about to roll
the third one.
Yeah, so the first one's 11 damage.
Nice.
So 21, modified 21 for the second one. Or third one, I mean. And then 8, 9, 10, 12 damage for the second attack.
Nice.
And 6 for the third.
Whew. Right. So you take your two blades out as you're kind of treading water with your feet, and you can feel like if it wasn't for the shark, this would be a great core exercise because you just like hitting it with your legs, and you take your two swords, and underwater it's hard because you get so much natural resistance underwater, but you're able to kind of find purchase with both of your swords, and you hit it like 3 times. The third time, you see it pop out of one of the gills of the shark, and you can kind of see kind of like the feathery lung inside the gill as you pull out your sword after the third hit. Well done. You see the shark now, like its mouth is kind of laboring as it's almost like tipping, like rolling over onto its side. Daedalus, I need you to make a strength feat to hang on, if you so choose.
That'd just be a 9.
9? Okay, so as the shark kind of like rolls over on its side, you see 3 very, very deep sword gashes on its underbelly, and you kind of slip on its sandpaper-like skin, which has been smoothed by the water, and you just kind of slip down into the water. There it floats in front of you. But it is your turn.
Okay. Not much I can do when it comes to being in melee range of a shark, right? I think I'll just try and I'll just grab my dagger and try and stab it.
Go for it. It's going to be at disadvantage. You are treading water.
And a 16, so I have to take
Take the 11. So add your dexterity modifier because it's a versatile weapon. So you use your dexterity and not your strength to hit it, plus your proficiency bonus.
So it's 12. That means I just 1 plus 4. So that's 5.
Plus 11, right? So 16 total. That hits. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. And I don't use a weapon very much. Let's see here. That's damage is 1d4 plus 1. So whatever I roll plus 1. 2.
All right. All right. So you take your dagger out, somewhat clumsily. You're in the ocean. You're not used to handling daggers, but this is kind of like a fight or flight situation. So you grab your dagger, secure your grip on the handle, and you just almost blindly you stick your dagger out and you cut off the top dorsal fin of the shark. Well done, Kohl. I'm gonna call him Thomas again. Kohl. I will let you get a surprise round, and then we can add you into the initiative.
Okay. Before I do that, do I see any sign of Danzin?
You don't see any sign. I mean, he sunk quick. He is fastened to a cannonball. There is no treading water when you're. He weighs probably about 40 pounds soaking wet. The cannonball probably weighs more than he does.
Okay. So I see the struggle going on with the shark. Okay. So
it's really hard to discern what is happening because it's just blood everywhere. Like the water is completely red. And as you look past Daedalus and Barag, you see a couple more fins kind of like pop up. Probably about 100, maybe 150 feet out, you see some more fins kind of pop up out of the surface of the water.
Okay. So I'm going to. They're 150 feet. You said.
The closest one is about 100 feet.
Okay.
You see some more
So
even beyond that one.
Would be within range. So I'm going to take 2 shots at the ones, not the ones that I see currently struggling with Daedalus and Barag, but the ones that I see kind of popping up.
Sure.
So I will take. How many did you say there were? 2 of them?
You see 2 of them, one about 100 feet and one about 150 feet. Pretty large predators.
Okay. So I'll take 1 shot at each of them.
Okay. I will say you are on the boat. You are not in water, so it's just going to be a matter of taking a steady aim and shooting, but it won't be at disadvantage.
All right. So I'm gonna. Now one of these is +1, so let's
Yes.
say the green is my +1 pistol.
Okay.
Green dice. Oof. Well, so that's a natural 1 on the
Halfling luck.
+1.
Ooh, halfling luck.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Why'd you roll 2?
1 for each.
1 for each attack.
Oh, okay. Well, you get to roll that one over because of her
Okay.
halfling luck.
Thank goodness.
Xanathar.
Yeah, I was almost down a gun there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's gonna be a 23.
So
on
that's
another
1 hit for sure.
So that's gonna be a 15.
15 does hit.
Okay.
So, Kohl, you have both of your guns out and you take aim, and for a second, one of them almost slips out of your hand as you're kind of steadying on the side of the dinghy, but you're able to steady your shot. You take a deep breath and you get 2 strikes.
Okay, so that's gonna be a 3 on 1 and I'm sorry. Not adding my bonus. That's gonna be dexterity to damage.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's gonna be a 7 on 1
Okay.
and an 8 on the other.
All right. Second end of your turn.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and roll your initiative, and that way we can go ahead and add you in the order.
Modified 20.
Modified 20. All right. I know I screwed up on that one.
No, it's.
I meant to fix it. I still haven't though.
Maybe Barag's
I've
just
been
so short.
busy. So either that or I need to scale up the Daedalus ones.
Give him a hat.
Yes. All right. So it is the shark's turn. I will say the one that you are fighting is going to just try to escape.
Opportunity
Right,
attack.
for opportunity.
Yes.
For both of you, yeah. You're both within melee. And for you, Kohl, I will say that shark, you hit it twice and you hit it dead on. You can see like right below the dorsal, right the impact of where the bullet hits. You see like blood kind of spray out and start to trail as the shark kind of swims away.
Okay.
Hurt.
Well, I was doing 1 shot on each.
Oh, 1 on each.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. Then he's gonna stay there, and they're not gonna advance. but they're not going to leave yet.
Okay.
So go ahead and take your attack of opportunities.
Are we at disadvantage for this still?
You are still at disadvantage.
Okay.
You're both treading water.
Well, my lowest is 14.
Okay. That's a hit.
Yay!
So go and roll damage.
15.
That's a hit. So go and roll damage.
That's
1d4 plus your dexterity mod.
4, so plus the 1. So
I rolled an 8, dude. Yes.
Nice.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 damage
Okay.
total because I get the +2 with my 9 lives dealer.
All right. So as
I did 10.
all right, I like it. So as this 15-foot shark begins to try to, you know, when sharks move suddenly, they almost violently kind of explode in a little burst of speed. It's exactly what the shark tries, but you with your sword, Barag, and Daedalus with your dagger, at the same time you both kind of put your bladed weapons on either side of the shark, and as it tries to kind of burst away, it almost kind of fillets itself as it kind of splits in two with both of your blades. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so and you just kind of like see it sink,
Down.
but not straight down, kind of like in a circular, like with the current of the ocean. You see it kind of sink away.
Down the toilet drain you go!
Yeah. What do you guys do?
Well, I gotta start.
So we took our attack of opportunity. I don't know if this.
So yeah, top of the order would
all
be.
Okay. So the 2 that I hit last time are still there.
They're still there.
Okay. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Just take those same shots.
Go for it.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna use an inspiration on this one. It's a 2.
Okay. Smart move.
Okay. So we have a 23
That's a hit.
and a 16.
That's a hit.
Okay.
Maybe.
Where? Okay, so that's going to be a 10 and an 8.
All right. So again, you take aim at these very large predators off in the distance, and you let loose with both pistols. Crack, crack, and you score direct hits on both of them. You see the kind of the blood spray and mix with water as it explodes violently at the surface. You see them now are kind of swimming away from your location at a great rate of speed. Well done, Terra.
So I'm still on the.
You're still on the ship.
Okay. So, I turn to Gefelda and put my dagger away, but kind of like have my hand on it.
Sure. She's still seated at the table
So I go to.
with her hands still up in that parlay position.
So I go and sit down at the table. So, are you going to talk now, or are you gonna keep playing more of your tricks?
There's no trick. I had to prove a point. I hope I did.
You sure did.
I just want you to know how deadly serious I am.
I know how serious you were before. I guess I was hoping. Well, hoping maybe the girl I found years ago was still in there, but she's dead. At least to me.
Very poetic, Terra. However, you're on my ship now. Terra's tears.
And I
So
like
do we have an agreement?
if you answer questions.
What are these questions?
It has come to my attention that these sea wolves have been causing quite a ruckus. And somehow, in some way, this ship, and I kind of like throw my hands and like, to kind of like express like the whole ship, seems to be getting away at quite a speed. The fastest ship. And then I look at the one sail. But from what I'm seeing, I don't know how that's possible.
Well, as you can see, the ship has been heavily modified.
Is it from that monster hunting you're doing?
Could be.
Could be. By chance, do you know what these sea wolves are?
Don't know and I don't care. I'm only here for one reason, and that is you. Sea wolves are not my problem, and they've never been my problem. My one problem right now is Terra. A problem I intend to get rid of.
Ah. I'm just curious, dear. Why do you think I'm such a problem? I mean, after all...
Oh, Terra. I've seen you kill men, I've seen you kill women, and you are nipping at my heels. I can't have that. I won't. I'd like to sleep with both eyes closed for a change.
Oh, so you have been thinking of me, dear. How kind of you.
Oh, you were always on my mind, Terra.
Then you probably shouldn't have pushed me off my own damn ship.
I shouldn't have, but it's my ship now, so in hindsight I think I made the right move.
Maybe. Maybe you did. And...
Terra, let's not play coy. Let's not pretend it's not something that you would have done. I learned from the best.
Well, you didn't learn that shit from me, that's for sure.
Oh, really? You are the greatest thief of them all, Terra. Sure, you give some to those in need, but don't act like you're innocent. You have blood on your hands, just as I do.
Here's the thing, though. You are bloodthirsty. I don't take pleasure in killing. You. There is something even more sickening than some of the things that I've seen.
Make no mistake, Terra. I take no pleasure in it. I never have. It killed me to have to kill your brother. It did. But it was a means to an end. It's just business.
Business?
Aye.
Just sending a young lad to his death. Sending our whole crew to their deaths was just business.
Danzin. Brave lad. You know, we had a magic user down in our galley. Saved his life. Can you believe it? Saved his life. For no reason other than that's what Terra would do. Can you believe that? When I asked him, why would you risk your own life for this broken down old magic user? He said that's what Terra would do. You've changed, Terra, not me.
Seems like I've changed for the better. You have changed for something far worse.
No. I'm still the same one I've always been. Same dwarf. You just ask Barag if you don't believe me.
I take it you've known him before. Not surprised, you dwarves are like cockroaches. Seems like one of you seems to know the bunch.
I'll tell you what. He'll stick a dagger in your back quicker than he will mine. That I guarantee.
And so I kind of nod my head and look at her. Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Trust me. I do.
And trust me, he's not gonna be the one that you're worried with the dagger in the back.
Oh. I don't worry anything about the rock. He is like a rock. He is immovable when he wants to be. And loyal to a fault.
Indeed. And I kind of look towards, like, am I hearing like what's going on down there, like with the guns and
Yeah.
all that?
Yeah.
And so I get up from my seat and I look down at where the dinghy is and where the rope is.
So as you walk over there, you see, because your conversation was happening at the same time that their fight in the ocean was. You see Kohl take his last 2 shots at 2 targets toward the front of the ship, off in the distance, and you see Daedalus and Barag kind of treading water, but all 3 seem alive.
And so I'm gonna call down to them. Valor's Ransom! Take care now, will you? And so I cut the rope. The ladder rope. And then I walk back to the chair and I kinda just kinda lean on it.
Okay.
Gefelda. As much as Parlay is, well, pleasant.
Oh, it's the pirate code.
You also know about the pirate code for duels, yes?
We're not dueling today. I don't feel like dueling. Just parlay.
Just Parlay. So you're gonna
We'll duel some other time.
So you're gonna show your crew here how much of a chickened you are? It's clear you have the advantage. This is your ship. This is not my ship. These are your boys. They're not mine. Mine are down there in the water.
I know. You abandoned them down there.
I did what I had to.
I don't think you did.
Well, that's not for your concerns now, is it?
And you guys see this. You see her cut the rope.
We
on the
never did find a place to store my powder keg, did we?
No, you didn't.
It's on the ship with me.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so the sharks seem to have been dispersed. Okay, so I row the boat as close as I can to the side of the ship, and I pull out the powder keg and I kind of put it right in the middle of the boat that I'm on so that it's visible, and then I cast minor illusion to make it appear that there's a flaming torch in my hand, and then I call up to the ship. Miss Gefelda, is it?
Captain Gefelda Gallows.
Gefelda, then. May I have a word? Captain.
Your abandoned crew beckons. Maybe they'd like to join mine.
And so,
Rather drop dead.
But we won't be dueling.
well, you're as much as a yellow-bellied snake as I remember.
Oh,
Yes.
you can goad me, but I'm no idiot.
Let my boys go.
Oh no, you've already done that.
You leave Valor's Ransom alone. And
Or-
I am...
You are not in a position to negotiate anything. I leave with your agreement or not. So she kind of gets up from the table, makes her way over to the side of the ship as you see the dwarf with the heavily braided red hair, little embellishments hanging, her purple dress, and she looks down at you. Yes.
And I just keep the torch illusion about like a foot above the powder keg. Now, you seem awfully fond of this ship. Be a shame if there was an accident. How about you send a few of your boys down in the water to rescue the one you dropped in?
I'm sure he's dead already, boy.
Could
A
be.
halfling's lungs are not very big.
So
Could
she
be.
says that, I'm gonna hook my bracer to my daggers
Okay.
as her back's turned and they're talking.
Now, I just like to be sure of these sorts of things.
Sure. Alright, so let me make a perception roll first. Ooh, what's your spell casting? I don't think
Spell save.
Spell save, yeah. We'll go off spell save.
So that would be, because I don't think it would be as, because it's usually something like 8 plus proficiency plus wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in that case, it would be 17.
Right. So she's like, "What do you want, Horned One?"
Well, like I said, I'd like a bit of a rescue mission to happen sooner than later.
He is in the deepest trench in the ocean.
Well, then your boys may have to join him to find out.
Is that a fact?
Oh, it could be. I mean, they're gonna end up there anyway if this torch has your way with its way with your ship.
So she kind of puts her hand in the air and kind of quickly flicks her wrist. And as you're standing there with this illusory torch, she's completely fooled. You see kind of like a couple of beads of sweat, like and you are very good at games of chance and bluffing. And just like you do at the dice table, you've bluffed her and you know you have her. She believes every bit of this. And her nerves, you kind of see her break a little bit. So she quickly kind of flicks her hand. And as she does that, you see these runes, these carvings on the side of the ship all illuminate with magic energy all the way around the ship. You see four almost crystal-like balls kind of raise slowly from underneath the water and kind of fold up. Each ball, 2 of them looks like some sort of very oddly moving water. The other 2 almost look like dust devils in the desert, but they're actually inside this globe. And as the runes on the side of the ship illuminate, you see the ship all of a sudden start to take flight. It's going up 5 feet, 10 feet above the surface of the water.
Did not expect that.
20 feet, 30 feet, as the sail itself kind of folds up and then leans a little further back. Now you see it is not a sail to catch wind, but to cut the wind. And you see it kind of going up a little bit higher. It's about 40 feet now if anybody wants to do it.
So I put my torch down.
She absolutely believed you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't extinguish the spell, but I kind of lower the torch and I look around for Barag and Daedalus. Do I see them?
Yeah, they're not far. Their fight happened very close, like right at the front of the dinghy. And as you all notice as it's going up in the air, the 2 globes holding these dust devil-like creatures are illuminated as it is raising in the air.
Okay. So
you see this as well.
Is her hand still up?
No, she flicked it quick and then just brought it back down.
I just start furiously rowing towards Daedalus and then Barag.
They're very close. They're probably about maybe 10, 15 feet.
Okay, so I go over and beckon them into the boat.
Okay.
Well, we better work together on this one.
Aye, well that's up to us, I think. Daedalus, you're our best chance. You need to go down and find Danzin.
I'm gonna dive in.
Okay.
And I'm moving, since I have gifts of depth, I'm moving at 30 feet.
Nice.
And as that's happening, as her back's turned after she did that motion, I'm going to throw both my daggers.
Woo!
Oh,
she's breaking the pirate code.
Parlay.
No more parlay. No more.
No parlay.
Terra High Hill is going to be the hunted Terra High Hill. All right, I like it. Go for it.
Oh shit.
Does this count as assassination since her back is to me?
Yeah, I'll say yeah, sure. You don't. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you assassination and I'll give you sneak attack. She's completely not expecting you to attack her. Would you roll?
28.
28. All right, so go ahead and roll
That's
damage.
for the first one, and then I'm going to roll for the second one, too.
Okay.
20.
20. Okay. Both hit, so go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, Million O days, here it comes.
2 of these, 4 of those. That's what it was. Stuck for a second. I got a little too excited.
Jesus.
Roll them up.
10, 15, 16, 22 plus 2, 24 plus 5. 29.
29 for the first one. All right.
Yes.
And the second
And then 7 of that is Kohl damage.
Okay.
And for the second one, I got half that, and I got 8, 11.
Do you forget your mods? Do you remember your mods?
Plus
Oh,
you're adding
16.
your dexterity modifier,
Yeah,
right?
16.
Did you add your dexterity to the first as well?
No, I did
No,
not.
you didn't. I don't think you did. All right, so your dexterity mod is +5, right?
+5.
Okay, so I'll just add 10 to the whole thing. Okay, all right. Whew.
Ouch.
Damn. 50 points of damage in one round.
Holy shit.
That is insane. That wasn't even on a crit.
Yeah, it's like a
All
magic
right, so
crit.
quickly you take your Frostbrand and your magic dagger. For a second you think Parlay, and then you say screw it. You throw both daggers. You both find one in each shoulder blade. You hear the pirate crew react violently. You hear them screaming, "Parlay! She broke Parlay!" I will give you one bonus action to recall one of your blades.
Would I be able to actually run with both my daggers still in her and flip her over?
Absolutely.
I'm going to do that.
Go for it.
So I'm going to run to the end of the ship, and with the chains following me, I'm just going to be like, "Down the hatch we go, you bitch!" And then I'm going to try and flip her over.
Go for it. All right. Natural 20. So, yeah, I swear to God, come look on this side.
Damn it!
Natural 20.
No!
So, as you run off the ship, you hit the rail, you go over the side, you say, "You coming with me, you dirty bitch?" You pull her off, and she digs her nails into the side of the deck. You're pulling her off. She manages to catch one of the rails, and she's actually holding her arm around, almost like a brace. And you hear her scream as she do 2 more, as if you hit with damage on your daggers, because the daggers are going to pop out of her back.
Oh,
So she's going to take additional damage.
Ouch.
Yeah.
$20 for the first one.
Goodness gracious, Terra Highhill, you are a damage machine.
With your
oh,
5?
This is not sneak attack
No, this is not sneak attack.
or assassinate. This is just
not
straight damage.
This is just straight damage.
Okay. Whew, yeah.
Did you forget your 5 or no?
No, that's with the 5.
Okay.
Go for it.
Don't worry, it's not as bad as it seems.
Hey, I'm just making sure.
15, 16.
Terra Highhill, man.
Damn.
Holy moly.
Is she gonna survive?
2 rounds, she did 86 points of damage in 2 rounds. One of them was one of those rounds was just incidental damage.
Yeah.
So as you kind of are pulling her and dragging her down, the daggers kind of pop out of her shoulder blades as her crew kind of put their arms around her to grab her to secure her back to the deck of the ship. And they do indeed do that as you fall down into the drink. 40 feet, so a second. You're going to take damage, but it's going to be halved because you're falling into water.
As I'm falling in and I see her getting pulled, like, Is she distressed at this point?
Oh,
or?
she's distressed. Hold
So
on.
as she does that, I'm gonna just flip her off and be like, "Toodaloo, bitch."
Wow. 4. Wow.
Wow.
This has already started.
36.
She gets information.
36 points of bludgeoning damage as you fall 40 feet into the water, but you manage to mitigate that because it is water. You only take half of that for 16.
Oh.
And then I also have my
Evade?
evade.
Yeah, go for it. So half of that would be
So
8.
8.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you see her kind of almost
Swan dive.
go into like a swan dive almost, and minimize that little splash as she goes boop into the water. All right. So as Terra Highhill falls into the water, you see this dramatic fight on the deck. You see her almost kind of sacrifice herself as she cuts the rope to free you guys of whatever fate may have befallen her. But you thought for sure that the Gallows was going to end up in the water, but by some miracle, she manages to just hang on. Now Terra is in the water, and you see the cannons start to line up on the ship. All right, so you got 3 cannon shots coming from the ship. They are aiming specifically at the dinghy that you guys are in. 2 are definitely going to hit. One of them is not. Who is in the dinghy?
Just him.
The dinghy is in the dinghy. All right. All right, Kohl. You are on the dinghy. You're seeing Terra. You're seeing Daedalus. As you were kind of rowing towards Daedalus and Barag, you see the cannons kind of lining up the shot. You know exactly what that means.
Okay, I dive in the water
Okay. So as you dive into the water,
and I swim away as quickly as I can. away.
Yeah. Smart. And the dinghy just explodes. The first cannonball takes off like the back half of the dinghy completely, and it just sinks. And then the very front of the dinghy is just kind of floating there for a second, and then the second cannonball hits and just shatters it into so many splinters. You lucky son of a bitch. So as you're kind of seeing this in shock, the little quarter keg of gunpowder just bloop, kind of is floating up at the top. It somehow survived the cannon fire. Low percentile, but it survived. But the 4 of you are now kind of treading water. I need everybody to make a perception roll. You, Terra, with advantage.
What am I perceiving? I'm currently swimming.
You are swimming?
Yeah, he's
swimming.
underwater.
I dove after him already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Barag, you do have night vision, but it's only good for low light. And it helps you as you get to a certain depth. And once you pass some of the murky sediment up at the top layer of the ocean, you kind of see things a lot more clearly. You're seeing a lot of animals down there, but you are also seeing... I need you to make a nature check. You're essentially going to try and track him underwater.
9.
Okay, it's just the ocean is just way too vast. You're looking, and unfortunately, it's not like the surface where you can pick up a footprint or a snapped branch where somebody may have walked by, or somebody leaving maybe a droplet of blood. It's water, and it's vast, and it's just open. And as you are looking, you don't see any sign of him. I mean, you definitely see the trench that they call Triton's scar, but it looks like deep black space. I need you to make a perception roll, please.
I'm going to turn to inspiration for that.
Okay. 17. I need everybody but Daedalus.
You gotta...
No, I need Daedalus. I need everybody else to leave.
Okay.
Sorry.
Except for Daedalus.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you are looking desperately for Danzin somewhere down in the dark depths of the ocean, you see Triton's scar from above. The shape of Triton's scar looks eerily familiar to you. the shape of the scar at one end almost has something kind of popping up out of it, almost like an ovoid shape. It looks like something had crashed in the ocean and created the scar. And as you are looking down into Triton's scar, you remember the crystal forest where you saw those giant purple spires of crystal. You saw some of the pieces that you harvested from that crystal forest, that purple crystal forest, were from something that looked like it created a giant crater, which created that weird section of forest. You also remember in the Sanguine Sands the legend of how the color of the desert sands became red, the legend of that. And you remember seeing this large crater, almost as if something had crashed through the desert. So this is not the first time that you have seen something like this throughout your travels with Valor's Ransom. This is about the third time that you had seen something, and you actually also recall something in the Great White North when Christopher had said that he had made the Frostbrand dagger from something that had fell from space. So this is the fourth of this type of phenomenon that you've run across within the adventures of Valor's Ransom. And it just strikes you as eerie because it's almost as if you're seeing all four of them at the same time. And that's it. Let me go ahead and call the others. I'll be right back. But no sign of Danzin. So, Daedalus, unfortunately you do not see Danzin anywhere nearby. Like I said, it's just so vast and open. But you do hear explosions coming from above.
We were supposed to make perception rolls, right?
No, just Daedalus.
Well, no, we were supposed to make perception before that.
He did that.
Advantage.
We all made perception rolls.
Myself
Except
with
for him.
advantage.
Yeah, remember?
Remember that?
Oh, yes, thank you. Sorry, it's been a long day. As you guys are kind of dealing with this ship that seems to have taken flight with help of some of these elemental monsters, as it slowly begins to ascend to the heavens, you look beyond it and you see dark storm clouds beginning to roll in. You know what this means, Terra. You've seen it many times. You've sailed the seas. You also know, although this has nothing to do with the ocean, you also know that you broke Parlay, and you will not find a friend amongst a sailor. You have essentially ostracized yourself from the sailor community, maybe even Baldur's Gate as a whole.
Yep.
How far away? I know it's in the process of flying away, but how far away is it?
It's about 50 feet.
Okay. So in my fury, just having been shot at with 3 cannons, I am going to take. I'm going to aim at one of these orbs that appear.
Sure.
I'm going to aim at one of them, and I'm going to take 2 shots. And what I'm going to do, I have my. Excuse me for a second. I have my class guide right here on my phone. I'm going to take 2 shots, and I'm going to use. I'm going to use Violent Shot on one of those.
Okay.
It's going to be on my +1 gun.
Okay.
And I'm going to expend 3 grit points.
Woo!
This Violent Shot.
Wow.
And I have.
That is going to really increase the odds of a failure.
I know.
On your pistol.
Yeah. That's why I'm putting it on the +1 pistol. because every little bit's gonna help on that.
Yeah.
And I have one more thing I need to reference really quickly.
Okay, sure.
Because like we played a session or two, maybe even without. Well, no, one full session without any combat, and so I'm like trying to refresh myself on some things.
While you're looking that up, Barag?
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
How far away can I be without it being able to call my armor?
I will say if it can hear your voice, you can call it. It's only about 50 feet up.
Okay. So I go I clear my throat and I yell in the loudest dwarvish voice I can. God got through!
Alright.
As loud as I can so my armor can hear me.
Very nervously, you are hoping this works as you scream as loud as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, you see one bracer come off the side, almost invisibly, like being guided by some invisible hand, very quickly. And then the chest piece, another bracer, the belt, and then you see all this just all at one time into the water. You are going to be at disadvantage to even stay afloat.
Yeah.
You're wearing full plate armor.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. Found what I needed. So the misfire score for that violent shot is going to be a 4.
Yeah.
For the other one's just going to be a normal attack. So this green D20 is going to be the violent shot, and this one will be the normal attack.
Close enough.
Okay, so
What do we got?
I have on the violent shot one, I have a 16.
That barely hits.
Okay, and then on the other one, I have a 18.
So both hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
So the damage is going to be 4d. It's going to be
Now,
5d8.
you see these 4 kind of large jeweled baubles, about 4 feet in diameter. Maybe actually a little larger than that. Which ones do you specifically aim at?
I'm going to aim. Oh, I'm good. I'm pretty close here. Thank you. I'm going to aim at both shots at one of them.
Does it matter which elemental he
It does.
gets?
Now, I know one of them, or two of them were like wind.
Two of them look like an amorphous sort of water.
Mhm.
But every once in a while, it kind of takes like a humanoid shape. It's 2 of them, one in the front of the ship and one in the back of the ship.
Okay.
So you would have one of each on the left side of the ship and one of each on the right side of the ship. You only see the left side of the ship.
Okay.
So you've got a shot at one of 2 of them. So you see the one that kind of looks like water toward the back of the ship. And I know there's starboard and all that stuff. I don't know the nautical terms for that. And I actually wrote all that stuff down. But and then toward the front of the ship, you see the one that kind of looks like almost a desert dust devil.
Okay. So that's the one I'm going to aim at.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your damage.
And just to be clear, for my damage modifier, it's going to be just my dexterity,
Just your dexterity, not your proficiency.
not my proficiency.
Yes,
Okay.
but you are, for the +1, you are going to add +1 to that.
Right. So, and because it's 2 different attacks, it'll be dexterity modifier
For
added to
1.
each. Added to 1. Oh, because the other one's considered like an
Yeah.
offhand or something. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
That's
So-
kind of the rule that we kind of...
Yeah, that makes sense. So it'll be +5 to
Yeah,
this
if it was
total.
just 1, then it would be...
Feeling like a rogue right now.
Yeah. It's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel so nice?
Okay, not too bad. So that's going to be 10, 13, 25, 30 damage.
30 damage.
Whoa.
All right, so you see Kohl bring his arms up from underneath the water. He's got his 2 pistols up. He's treading as hard as he can. You see his tail kind of, he's using it almost as a rudder to keep himself steady as he's aiming it. And you see him kind of close his eyes, smiles a little bit, and then lets off 2 shots. The 2 shots It almost looks like when an archer hits a bullseye and then the other arrow goes into the other arrow. Kind of like that. His shot goes both in one spot, and you just see a cracked kind of spider in the jewel, in the glass bauble. You see just kind of spider all the way around the circumference of that glass jewel, and then all of a sudden you see the ship kind of like lurch towards you guys.
Crap.
Yeah, so it's falling from 50 feet in the air, and it's starting to angle towards you.
And how far is it like this way from us? Like it's up 50, and then how far away? Like
It is up 50, and you're probably about 20 feet away from it.
okay.
However, as it's falling, it is turning, and when it hits, it will hit you. So I need everybody to make an athletics check to
Yes.
swim out of the way.
Except for me, I'm still under.
You're still underwater.
Oh. Everybody get those inspirations ready.
Yeah, just
This
in
would be a
case.
good use. Okay.
Thank God I still have to.
Athletics.
Nat 20.
Oh, destroying it over here. Inspiration.
All right.
I rolled a 2, just so you know. I'm down to 1 inspiration, by the way.
17.
Okay. Difficulty is 18.
Shit.
So, you know what? I'm gonna stick with it because I'm gonna roll
Okay.
so much worse.
No, that's fair.
Again.
What do you got, Barag?
This is actually.
You are at disadvantage. You're wearing plate.
Oh, so I have to roll twice.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Wait, that means wait.
Does it negate?
Then I used my inspiration to negate the no. Okay. No. I'm confused.
What are you trying to do?
Because I rolled once and I used an inspiration, so wouldn't I have had to roll twice on that first roll I did? So that would have negated the.
No, this is your first roll since you now have the plate armor. You haven't rolled anything yet.
rolled twice right now and used an inspiration.
Oh,
on
okay.
the first
I didn't
roll.
see what you were doing. All right, so
Yeah, so I rolled the 2 and then I used an inspiration on it, but I didn't know I had to roll twice.
So if
to
you're
get
using an
disadvantage.
inspiration, it essentially negates the disadvantage. So you would only roll 1 dice at once.
Okay.
So from here on out, we'll say this.
Yeah.
Let's roll 1 dice at a time.
Yeah.
For advantage, disadvantage, multiple attacks.
Yeah.
That way it kind of eliminates any confusion. In this
Okay.
case, for you, Barag, that advantage would eliminate the lower dice.
So I have to roll again because I only rolled once.
No, you wouldn't have to roll again.
Okay.
So what inspiration does, it essentially gives you advantage.
Mhm.
But if you're at disadvantage,
It negates.
it negates the disadvantage. So you
Yeah.
have one roll,
One roll.
1 die.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because you rolled 2 at one time, we don't really know which one would have been the real roll.
I
He rolled
didn't-
he rolled 1 at a time, but the first one was 2. The second one was 5.
Yeah. So I rolled. Okay. So I didn't know I had to do the disadvantage.
You forgot.
No worries.
So I didn't do that. I rolled a 2 and then used an inspiration on the 2, and then I rolled again for.
Yeah, all that would have done is just cancel out the second roll.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter
So
anyway.
keep your inspiration.
So keep the inspiration.
Keep your inspiration. You are going to get hit.
Okay. Well, I rolled an 18, so.
Oh, okay. You did roll an 18.
Yeah, I did roll
so
an 18.
you managed to just get out, and as hard as that is with plate armor, you just find that dwarven toughness that you're known for, and you kind of muscle through. Daedalus, you see you're coming to the surface of the water, and as you kind of break the surface, you see something coming closer and closer. You're like, oh, that's weird, and you pop your head out of the water, and you see the ship kind of bearing down at you, and you just kind of get back underneath the water. No roll made because no roll necessary because you can breathe water.
Can I say that I use that athletics roll to dive down?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I see it start to fall, I just look around at whoever's there and kind of in half panic. I say dive, dive, and I just go down.
Okay. All right. You see Barag and you see Terra. With that 20, are you diving as well?
Diving.
So all 4 Valor's Ransom are just underneath the surface of the water, and Barag is the one that comes closest to it as the ship kind of falls back down into the ocean. You see the 4 kind of baubles kind of go back into the water, and the 2 that have the water creatures begin to glow. But as the ship falls, Barag, that plank that makes the outside of the hull of the ship, it is like inches away from your face when it impacts in the water. But you manage to skirt any damage. Well done, guys. Man, that was cool. All right, so
Damn.
now you see kind of the ship kind of going back and forth, almost as if you, when you drop like a toy ship into like the water in the bathtub, you know how sometimes it goes like from side to side? That's how this is doing, but on the scale of like an 85-foot ship.
Yeah.
So it's intact, though, the ship?
Yeah, it's intact. However, it has one compromised cell that is leaking air elemental. Angry, enslaved air elemental.
Okay.
And you see where you hit it, the spider, the cracks continue to spider out as it begins to weaken. You see kind of wind in the water, almost like a tire tube when you put it in a tub of water to look for the leak. That's exactly what's happening. You just see this rush of air underneath the water as air is escaping from this glass prison.
About how far is it from where I am at?
From about 105 feet.
Yeah. I'll be getting there anytime soon.
Did any of the crew fall off the ship? Did we notice anybody on the ship at this time?
Let's see. That's a pretty decent roll.
I would have felt bad if Terra's ship just disintegrated.
So
I wouldn't have.
you do indeed see about 7 crew members of the 20 that were on top of the deck kind of fall into the drink with you guys.
Okay.
And you hear a couple of them, "Kill that fucking traitor halfling!"
And as they say that, I'm gonna go, hello. And leave.
They have no idea what happened or why it happened. There's a pretty good chance that the others in Valor's Ransom don't even know what is going on in regards to why the ship fell. You aimed at the cell, and you let loose this creature that you can see kind of escaping, but there's a good chance that these pirates, this crew, they don't know. At least the ones that fell in the water.
They don't know why it happened?
Why it happened or what is currently happening.
Okay. While I'm under the water, I'm gonna cast Disguise Self, and I'm gonna disguise myself as best as I can approximate like what one of those pirates, how they were generally dressed.
Sure.
I don't want to look like any one of them in particular. Just I want to turn into a human.
Sure.
And I want to approximate their dress as best as I can.
Okay. For this, I will allow you to do either a performance check. I'll say a performance check with advantage.
Okay.
So you go ahead and you cast your spell. You disguise yourself as kind of like in a general privateer's garb.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead and make a performance check with advantage.
All right. Not great. A little better. 12.
12. It's a good thing you're dealing with dimwits. So they're all kind of treading water. A few of them are trying to swim back to the ship. There's only 1 or 2 of them that are actually looking for Terra. So we'll go in the order of initiative. Why don't you, Daedalus, go ahead and roll initiative so I can add you in.
Do I need to roll 2?
Oh, Terra as well, yes.
And I'm still underwater, right? Or
you're about to pop up.
An 8.
15.
Oh wait, Daedalus, you were already in the initiative.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
15.
15. Okay, so you are good to go. Alright. Alright, so we're going to go at the top of the initiative order. Should you choose to attack or not? Kohl.
So there's currently a couple of them searching for Terra, and the rest are going towards the ship.
Yeah, 5 of them are swimming as quickly as they can back to the ship. After all, they are swimming in chummed water with 4 very dangerous opponents.
Just saying.
You don't have to do anything.
Right.
You are currently disguised.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of just tread water and do my best to look like somebody who just fell 50 feet off of a ship.
Okay.
You know? It's like, what?
All right, Barag.
So like we got 7 total in the water. 5 are swimming back to the ship like little chicken
Yeah,
shits.
and you don't see Kohl anywhere, but you do see someone next to you who's just kind of treading water and kind of appears to be one of the crew.
Am I real close to him?
You're pretty close.
Okay, so I just I look over at him and I just a little bit raise one of my guns out of the water and kind of wink at him.
Are you trying to get frisky with me there, whoever you are?
It's Kohl.
Oh.
I'm trying to lay low.
Okay. Hi, Kohl.
Just pretend to not notice me. And I just kind of...
The famous Han Solo line.
Yeah.
Fly casual. Swim casual.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna like start to keep treading water. Be like, okay, dude, you just made a little awkward.
It's getting hard for you. You're in plate armor.
Yeah.
You are going to start suffering levels of exhaustion here pretty quickly.
I can just imagine Barag like doggy paddling. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
He may be doggy sinking here soon. Terra.
So as I'm about to come up, are there any crewmates near me?
Yeah. There's one of them that's near you. One of them is kind of searching about 10 feet away from you.
So I'm gonna throw my daggers.
You're underwater.
Would I be able to, or?
At a severe disadvantage.
Dang it. So I'm gonna bob up.
I mean, it's underwater,
Yeah,
so.
I could try. But I'm gonna bob up then
Mhm.
and throw my daggers one at each.
Now, I will say since you are underwater and he's on the surface, you will be able to flank him with a stealth check. Go ahead. Don't just smile. Just go.
I'm so happy when I hear stealth check.
So it's
Modified 25.
oof. So it's almost like in those, creepy war movies where you see like that one of the soldiers kind of like slowly pierce the surface of the water, just their eyes first, and then slowly come out. That's what Terra does. And you are right behind him.
So I'm gonna kind of like hop on him and stab at his neck.
Okay.
Like in between the neck and the shoulder blade.
Okay.
With both of them.
Ouch.
And I'm gonna whisper in his ear, very creepy, like, surprise, motherfucker.
Okay. Go ahead.
23.
23. That hits.
Go for the second one. 24.
That hits. Go and roll your damage.
Damn.
I love still.
I know. You have assassinated on this.
I do.
Alright. So happy.
Yeah.
Sociopathic behavior.
Everybody do
I'm
that.
killing things.
Killing everything. Oh no.
11.
This is insane.
Is it more than 21?
Way more.
Alright.
Don't even bother.
Describe to me your moment of victory.
So, I'm just curious out of curiosity.
Sure.
When someone dies when in the water, they kind of bob up, right?
Yeah.
So
Until the air escapes their lungs.
yeah. So as I have him and I say that, I kind of looked at his shocked face, and then I'm gonna pull out my crossbrand dagger. You're following the wrong captain there, boy, and slit his throat, and then sit on his body as he's floating.
Okay. Well, he's not going to be floating for long once
Yeah.
the air escapes his lungs. But yeah, sure enough, it's quick and it's quiet, and the three of you, before you even know that Terra's there, you see her sitting on top of this dead pirate with 2 fresh wounds right at where his neck meets his torso.
And so
It's a garish sight because she's covered in blood.
We're all pretty close to each other?
Yeah, now you are.
Okay. Wow. Good work. And I just kind of do the same thing I did to Barag, and I kind of raised one of my guns out of the water just a little bit and like wink at him.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna point my frostbrand dagger at him.
It's Kohl. I'm laying low. Just what? And so I pause for a moment, and then I just furiously start swimming towards the big ship.
Okay.
And I kind of go, however the pirates that are making their way back up on the deck,
Right.
I'm just following their lead, getting up there, however they're getting up there.
Now, I will say Gallows is not waiting. She's bleeding from 2 shoulder blade wounds that are very deep, and the ship is compromised, and you are dangerous. This is part of the reason why she wanted this parlay in the first place. So you hear her call the order. Let's get the fuck out of here, boys! Sorry, lads! And you see the ship start to take off. You're the only one that's close enough to the ship where if you want to try to make a grab for it, I will allow you to attempt to do that.
Ship handling check.
No handling anything check. That didn't go well for me before. So it's doing what it did before.
No, and now it's in the water.
It's actually sailing.
It's going to be sailing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna attempt to get up on the deck.
Okay.
So is there a roll for that?
Well, you got to make an athletics check to grab a handhold
Okay.
and hold on.
Athletics. Okay. So I will do that. I will use an inspiration for that one.
Okay.
I got one of those left. You know what? That dice has been giving me too many close calls. Not good. Athletics, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That will only be a 6.
6. Unfortunately, you managed to grab onto the side of the ship, but it's so slick you can't get a handhold as it kind of just starts to sail away at a very unnaturally fast pace.
About how far is the ship from me?
40 feet.
I'm gonna try throwing one of my daggers at the ship
Okay.
to kind of like drag myself along with it. Let me move my beautiful dice out of the way. Is there something?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Natural 19.
Natural 19. All right. So sure enough, you take your frostbrand dagger, I'm assuming, or your magic dagger.
I'll do both, so then it's kind of like holding like a range.
Well, you're only making one attack, so
Okay.
you
Then,
gotta choose one.
I'll choose my frostbrand.
Okay, so you take your frostbrand dagger out, still attached to the chain. You throw it as hard as you can, and it sinks deep into the side of the hull of the ship as it's starting to sail away, and it almost yanks your arm out of the socket. How fast it's going. What do you do?
So I'm gonna kind of like reach out for Barag.
They're way too far.
Oh my god. Dang it.
The ship is going fast.
Yeah.
It still has 3 of those globes left.
Yes, it
right?
does.
And so it's gonna be one of the globes that has like the dust devils, and 2 with the amorphous water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How far away is it at this point?
Now all 4 are underwater. You see the one that you shot at is it almost like it's springing a leak.
Oh, so they're not out anymore.
They're no longer out.
Okay.
They are actually back in. They are actually submerged back into the water, and now the ship is moving at a very quick rate of speed. Although those magic runes are still lit up all around about the ship.
Okay. Are they physical attachments onto the ship, or
No,
they just
they look like they're actually carved into the wood
Got it.
of the ship.
Okay. So I am just going to Terra's with the ship. She's like kind of attached to it.
Make a perception roll.
Okay.
Because so much is happening so
Right.
quickly at one time.
Man, I'm just like I'm making my attacks, but not my skills. Perception 13.
13? I would say, yeah, you would definitely see a halfling hanging by a chain, being dragged by a ship
Okay.
that is being propelled by water elementals. So yeah, you definitely see her being dragged by the ship.
It's moving faster than
It's moving fast. Faster than any ship you've seen.
I'm going to start swimming in the direction that it's moving and try to perceive at that point whether there's any hope of me getting anywhere near it or if it's outpacing me.
I'm just curious, would I be able to like kind of like lean my rope out of my pack to where it kind of like follows?
You
know
can
what I mean?
reach for it. I mean, it's in your pack.
Yeah.
So you can do maybe like a sleight of hand check to try and drag. Are you trying to lasso somebody or?
Not lasso, but kind of leave the rope out to where like maybe someone can grab onto the rope and then like kind of pull
The
themselves
only one
towards
who is
me.
actually closer to the ship is Kohl,
Mhm.
because he was already swimming to the ship when the ship took off.
Okay.
Daedalus and Barag were kind of where the dinghy was.
Okay.
But let me get to Daedalus first. Daedalus, you see all of this kind of going down very quickly.
So I reach into my pack and I haul out the fly statue.
Wow,
And I activate the fly. It's like, okay, guys, climb aboard.
well, it's only got enough room for one.
For one.
Yeah.
That's...
I'm struggling. I'm gonna stay afloat over here. You're hurt. That core is burning.
So since he's on the verge of sinking, I send it over to him.
Okay. There's a
And I
fly
tell
statue over there. So let's get it. Right over there. Or Sean, can you grab it since you're not mine?
So I'm gonna get him out of the water.
Okay. So you call out the fly statue,
Yeah.
and you will it to come to life. You see the little magical carvings that are kind of carved into the side of the onyx obelisk kind of light up. And right above the surface of the ocean, you see the giant fly kind of floating. Barag, I need you to make an athletics check to grab the saddle of the giant fly. This thing is a little bit bigger than a horse.
No animal handling. Darn.
That's enough. Yeah. So you grab onto the stirrup of the fly, and you manage to kind of pull yourself out of the water, and it is the sweetest relief you've ever known. You are soaked to the bone,
Yeah.
and every muscle is on fire just from treading water in full plate. You were about to sink. No doubt about it.
Yeah, then Daedalus, thank God for the fly!
I know, right?
And it's, you said only, there can be two people on it, or just one person
just
can
one.
be on it
Just
at
one.
one time? Just one, right? Okay.
Because remember, he can move in underwater at 30, right?
Yeah.
His regular speed, yeah.
At his regular
full
speed,
so
so-
I can just go and be like 30.
And breathe water.
And breathe water, so yeah,
Yeah.
he can.
I think
Okay.
I'll be pretty.
So I'm...
You do have your cap.
Yeah, I do have the
Yeah.
underwater cap.
You would just be walking on the bottom of the deepest trench in the ocean.
Yeah, just I can breathe just
Yeah.
fine. You know what I was thinking about that too? I was like, I can just sink and fall to the bottom of the ocean and be like
man.
Pirates of the Caribbean status.
Yeah.
Just don't.
It would take a while. but
Yeah.
You could definitely do it.
15 feet.
Mhm.
I can do it.
All right.
Um,
So, well done. Is that gonna end your turn, Dan?
Is there still I think I could try and stop the ship somehow. Is there sails? Are there sails?
There is one large sail. Does not look like a regular sail.
So I don't think an Eldritch Blast would puncture it.
Don't know.
Too bad.
It's just one large sail, right smack in the middle.
So I'm gonna try and aim both my Eldritch Blasts at it.
Okay. Now you did burn an action to call the fly.
Oh, so I can't do that.
So you can do that next round if you'd like.
Okay. For now, I'm just gonna try and swim. I'm gonna swim 30
Okay.
and try and get as close as possible.
The one pirate that's left is trying to swim for the ship as fast as he can. He's gonna
I'm
make
like, dude, they're leaving you behind. That's it.
He's gonna make a couple of athletics checks. Captain! Oh, that was a good roll. Okay. The second one was bad because it was at disadvantage. So, he rolled a natural 3.
Ouch.
So you hear him screaming, "Captain Gallows, don't leave me!" And you just like hear him start to gurgle with on water as you see his head kind of like sink underneath the water until he disappears.
Is he close to me at all?
No, you're connected to the ship. Remember?
You're not even close.
Okay, I didn't know if he was like the ones trying to get onto the ship or.
No. He's one of the ones that was by the dinghy because there was 2 left by Barag and Daedalus. One you killed, and then this is the other one. So back to the top of the round. Kohl.
Now, am I understanding correctly that there's a rope being thrown my way, or is that not the case? No. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, no, not trying to metagame. That's she said something about it. So.
I was just inquiring.
Okay. So I'm swimming towards the ship. Is it clear to me that it is outpacing my swim speed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You could be on a horse and wouldn't be able to catch it.
Right. Okay. So I am going to, in another fit of frustration, I am going to look at. The orbs are gone. I'm gonna take 2 shots. Get myself up here because I'm still disguised. I'm gonna take 2 shots at the sail.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna do what I did before. I'm gonna expend. I'm gonna use up the rest of my grip points.
Now you are no longer in the dinghy.
Right.
You're treading water.
Right.
So each of these shots will be at disadvantage should you decide to use your violent shot.
Okay.
Something to think about because this will factor in.
Only if I decide to use my violent shot?
No.
Or
either way.
Either way. Okay.
Either way. You're looking at it. You're bobbing up and down in the water.
Right.
You're essentially using your tail and your legs to keep yourself afloat without the use of your arms. Should you take these shots? So you can most definitely shoot the sails.
And you said it looks like it's moving faster than normal.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm trying to think whether he would think shooting the sails made any sense in the world. It wouldn't really if it was just a normal ship. Because 2 holes in the sail.
Well, it definitely is not just a normal ship.
Right. So okay, I'll figure that it seems reasonable enough to him that the sail might be special.
You're gonna make a perception roll.
Okay, that'll make me feel better about it because I'm like, normally shooting a sail is not gonna do jack. So like, would he really try to do that? Like, oh come on, that was so close to a natural 20.
You rolled the wrong one.
Yeah, I guess so. It like almost came to a stop on the 20 and was just like boop.
Horseshoes and hand grenades, man. Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a natural perception. It's gonna be after modifiers. It's gonna be 11.
11.
Yeah.
That's not enough. Unfortunately, you just
Okay,
don't
so
see it.
I raised my gun in anticipation of firing, and then I just
Yeah.
dropped it back down.
Yeah, high risk, high reward. Sometimes the risk isn't worth it.
Yeah.
All right, so back to Barag.
This point, how far is the ship from me?
It's pretty far.
Like, more than 100 feet?
Yeah.
And how far does the fly travel again?
I believe it's 60 feet.
Okay.
Would he be able? I'm just curious more than anything. Would he be able to do like a dash with the fly?
I think we can, yeah.
Yeah, but it would suffer exhaustion.
And then
After a certain amount of time, it would suffer exhaustion.
So I'd be able to go like 120 feet and catch up with the ship.
Sure.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna dash with the fly
Okay.
and go 120 feet to catch up with the ship.
Okay. As you are flying, you fly right over the top of Kohl's head. Kohl, as you are trying to take aim with the guns and trying to make this kind of calculation in your head, and frustratingly, you hit the top of the water with your gun. No more than a foot away from the top of your head, you hear, you see the fly just like taking off, hauling ass right past your head.
I just instinctively like dive underwater for like a few seconds and then pop back up and look around. And
this is the first time I believe you've seen the giant fly.
Yes, he has no.
So
clue
you're
what
like,
that is.
what the fuck is going on?
So I instinctively I raise my gun.
Make a perception roll.
Okay. That is 18.
You see a very exhausted Barag on the saddle of this thing. That is an accurate reaction. What the?
So I just sigh very heavily and I just lay back and just float on my back in the water. I just spread out.
Spread eagle.
Continuation, man. That is just too fucking good.
As I fly
That's
past
good.
him, I'm just gonna lean back and hold the reins with one hand and just have the sergeant be like, oh yeah! As I just haul ass past him.
Nice. As you are floating, you're looking up. The sky is becoming very dark.
That's right.
And very ominous. Barag, you are hauling ass. Terra.
So basically, I'm water skiing in the back of the.
It's more like water dragging. You're waterboarding yourself. So what do you do?
Would it be any? Do I see Barag behind me at all?
Make perception. You see a shape coming towards you. It's hard to discern what it is. You know you won't. If you stay where you are, you're going to be cut to ribbons. You're just going way too fast. Either your arm is going to come completely out of the socket, but you won't last long being dragged at this speed.
Okay.
That you know. I need Barag and Terra both to make perception rolls, please.
28.
28. Jesus Christ. 15. Both of you, Barag, as you're flying past Kohl and Terra, as you're kind of looking back, everything is happening so quickly. It's so chaotic. But the both of you can swear that you see. You know when a harsh wind hits the top of of ocean water and makes that water cap, that white water cap? You just see.
Oh shit.
You just see that kind of like that water cap like moving very quickly towards Kohl and Daedalus. You're moving in the opposite direction, so you're essentially missing each other.
Yeah.
But it's moving from the back of the ship, where the ship was, moving right past you and right to Kohl and Daedalus. That first perception roll was to see if you noticed that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it is.
So what do you guys? You see? You both definitely see it.
They're not able to hear us, right? We're too far away from those Daedalus and Kohl. They can't hear us.
You don't know.
Ah,
But
shit.
we're still on Terra,
Yeah,
so
sorry.
go ahead. No worries.
So I'm gonna let go with the dagger and very quickly with my other hand shoot a crossbow bolt at the sail.
Sure.
$28.
28.
Damn.
So yeah, absolutely. Your crossbow bolt. I forgot to say with disadvantage. It would have been with disadvantage, but that's fine. That's on me. All right. So you do actually see the bolts go completely through the sail. Doesn't seem to slow it down though. I need you to make an intelligence check with advantage. Add your proficiency modifier, not due to navigation. Your skill with navigation. 25. As you can see the bolt travel through the sail and the ship not slowing down, it almost looks like that sail is meant more for direction than speed. There's something else that is propelling the ship forward. It probably, as you're looking at the side of the glowing runes on the side of the ship, in Terra's mind, it's probably some magic shite or monster shite, one of the two, maybe a combination of both shites. You're not quite sure because it's brand new. You've never seen anything like this on a ship before.
Yeah.
But those sails, they look more to control the direction. More control direction while it's in the air, because the rudder underneath the ocean is still going to control the direction of the ship in the water. Cool. Daedalus Hartwell.
So how far is this ship? How far away is that ship?
It's about 250 feet away.
Dang, out of the range of that. So that is no good.
Man, I need you to make a perception roll now.
It's too far away for me to do anything.
I don't know.
No, it really is. Let's see, 13, 16.
16. As you're looking at the ship that is moving further and further away from you as each second ticks, you see it looks like movement on the surface of the water. You don't actually see anything moving the water. You just see kind of white caps of ocean moving very, very quickly to where you and Kohl. You guys are still relatively close to each other.
And Kohl didn't notice this?
No, that was your first perception roll that you...
So I like Elbum, like he's seeing this is coming right towards us.
Huh, what? So
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
back.
if you're done doing the dead man's flow.
I was just taking a breather, wondering why I'm here.
I just looked at him and I'm like, welcome to Valor's Ransom.
So when I look around,
It's practically in their target. Why are we here?
I
We don't know.
I look around at what he's trying to point out to me.
And now, sure enough, you see something that looks like something physical should be pushing and moving that water out of the way, but there's nothing there.
Is it? So it's is it like the wake of the ship, or?
It looks like it would be the wake of a ship, but there's no ship there.
Well, that can't be good. I look around and do I see my powder keg anywhere?
It is bobbing up and down.
How big is it roughly?
It's about a quarter of a keg.
Okay, so not very big.
It's enough for Bentley to kind of fit on his harness on across his broad back.
Okay.
So not half, about half of a keg, so about a quarter of a keg.
Okay. Well, do we wait for it to get here and try our luck, or do we swim for our lives?
I'm assuming before you were floating, you reloaded.
Yes.
Make sure you let me know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Does it appear to be moving pretty quickly?
Right to you guys and very fast.
Well, we won't be able to outrun it, so let's just try and tempt fate. And I just kind of wait. Yeah, just kind of.
I dip my head under the water and see if I can see anything under there.
You see almost. You do see movement in the water, like violent currents of water, but you don't see anything pushing the water.
Okay then. So I draw both of my guns and just ready them, and I stay where I'm at. That does not feel good to say.
No, it does not. All right. So next up is going to be. That was Daedalus' turn, right?
Yes.
So are you going to do anything?
No, I'm just gonna wait for whatever comes
Your
our
loss.
way.
All right. Okay. Now understand that because it was on your turn that you saw it, and we're going in the order of initiative, you can hold an action.
Okay.
So in other words, you can wait for a trigger. You can say, I'm not taking any movement. I'm going to hold my action. When I see something get close enough to me to attack, then I do this. So you can hold an action. You can't hold a movement in D&D, but you can definitely hold an action.
Okay, well I'm gonna hold that, and when it does get close enough, I'm going to let off 2 Eldritch Blasts.
That's my man right there. Take an inspiration, sir, because you're inspiring me to be a better human being. All right. And sure enough, it's actually its turn. So you see something crest above the water, and with the mist of the water kind of hitting this incorporeal air form, it's almost like a large humanoid shape dancing amongst the water right above you. So you see it, your trigger is activated, so go ahead and roll your attacks.
Okay, here's number 1. Let's see how it works.
Guys, I'm so excited. I wanted to use an elemental for so long, you have no idea.
Okay, so the first one is that's 21.
21. Alright.
Is that it?
21 does hit.
And that's a pretty calculate. That's only 13.
Unfortunately, that misses.
So I'm gonna at least hit it with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 1d10.
Is it 1 or 2 at your level?
Well, it's 1 per each blast. It's 1 miss.
Oh, gotcha.
And I only have 2 blasts.
Why did I think your Eldritch Blast? Okay, alright, yeah, you're right.
Can't win when I get a third with that.
Me smart. Alright, so go ahead.
So it's gonna.
Yeah, when you get that third Eldritch Blast, dude, you're gonna kill it.
So
Yeah, big
So
time.
so my Eldritch Blast that did hit is going to be a fan, because this is
like a paper fan, an Asian paper fan.
Just go.
Okay, yeah. I dig it.
And that's going to do 4 plus my charisma, so 8 damage.
Nice, dude. Nice. So the three of you see this conjured paper fan, very, very large. What color? Does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Does it matter? Okay. And I will say that you will see the VR from Valor's Ransom on the fan, and you see it cut right through this shape, and you do see that it kind of disperses some of it as it takes the full damage of that. Next up is going to be the Elemental. It is going to attack Kohl. No, not Kohl. I'm sorry. Daedalus. You hit it and you hurt it. So you know what? No, it's going to make an attack on one on each of you. I'm assuming 23 hits, Kohl?
Yes.
Son of a beach. 14? Does that hit Daedalus?
No. Oh, no, you're asking me?
Yeah, it is.
He gets so...
By 3.
11.
You gotta put that Eldritch armor on, man. That the mage armor. You always forget to do that.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of came out of the blue, so.
Well, you know your mage armor lasts for like 8 hours or 12 hours, something like that.
I know, but
You know that, right?
I didn't know something was going to do.
Well, you should always expect it. This is D&D.
Expect unexpected.
Yeah, for sure. So 9 points of bludgeoning damage. No, I'm sorry, 10. 10 points of bludgeoning damage for Kohl. You just feel this force of concussion hit you, and you kind of get propelled back underneath the water just from the force of it. But not drowning. But you will at some point have to make a Constitution check pretty quickly. Wow. Daedalus, you take a total of 7 points of bludgeoning damage, and you too as well. So almost like with invisible columns of air elemental force, you are both hit. Large splashes of water right where you see it, right where Daedalus and Kohl are. You see these large splashes of water kind of spout out about 15 feet in the air as they go under for a quick second and bob back up. And that's going to end the turn of the elemental. Next up is going to be Kohl.
If I use my Ioun Stone, is that an action or is that an object interaction?
I believe. That's alright. I'll look it up here real quick. I love that Ioun Stone, by the way.
Oh, it's great. That was
so good.
For like a random roll.
So good.
What is it?
So
Curious.
remember the marbles that Talbus had?
Oh yeah.
So it doesn't do what
Talbus.
those did, but
Rest in peace.
yeah, it acts in a similar way. It kind of revolves around me.
You have to use an action.
Okay. It revolves around me, and it grants me 9 HP and 2 con as long as it's up.
Oh, nice.
And it has its
Dope.
own AC of 24.
Yeah.
And its own health of 10.
It's so rad.
So it doesn't intercept attacks like the marbles did, but it can be targeted on its own.
Yeah.
so-
But
How rad is that?
24
That's
freaking AC.
awesome.
Yeah, that's dope.
Alright, so you would have to use an action to activate the Ioun Stone.
I am going to do that. And
Here it is. I'm waiting for it.
and
I want to burn an action surge.
I
Action surge! I knew you were going to say it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
I was literally looking
I
at it
fucking knew it.
on my paper.
I know you were.
Yeah, so
I read it on your face.
yes, I am gonna burn.
The second he said, I'm gonna use the Ioun Stone. I knew it.
Yeah.
All right, so you quickly snatch the Ioun Stone. I believe you wear it on a necklace, right?
I don't. I like that idea. I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So you quickly snatch it off the necklace. You say the magic incantation. This Ioun Stone that has been part of your family lineage for generations activates and does an orbit around you, even going into the water. The water does not slow it down at all as the orbit continues in and out, in and out. And go ahead and take your action surge.
Okay, so I'll take my action surge, and then I will make an attack with.
I'll take my action surge and bake cookies.
I will take out my easy bake oven. No, I will make an attack with both pistols. So one of them is going to be a violent shot with.
You are taking a chance. I love it. I love it.
It's going to be 1 grit point on this one.
All right.
And that, of course, is going to be my +1 pistol. That's this one here. It's cocked. Right in the corner there. Okay, so 22
That hits.
on that. And then this will be the other pistol. That's going to be 15.
Barely hits.
Okay. So that's going to be 3d8 plus 5.
Wow.
3d8 plus 5. Oh, wow. Where's my d8? There it is.
It's like a rogue meat spider.
Yeah. This is such a cool class, man.
Yeah.
Woo! That's 18.
So, you hit it dead center, and it goes through. It breaks a little bit of its form apart, and where you hit it, for some reason, you get the impression that it should have broken it apart a little bit more than it did, but it did seem to kind of dissipate it a little bit.
Okay.
Just for your edification.
Got it.
Your second shot? Did you do the
That
damage
was-
on that?
that
Oh, that
was
was with both?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Is that gonna use your?
I'm going to just take as much movement as I can away from it.
Okay. Understood. All right, so you are going to be, your movement's going to be halved,
Okay.
but you can take that movement. All right, Barag, you are going to the ship.
Yes.
You see Terra disengage from the ship.
Ah, shit.
As you kind of fly right past this disruption in the ocean.
Mhm.
You fly past Kohl, you look over your shoulder, and you see them getting attacked by something. It's really hard to tell. You don't know if they were being pulled under by something, maybe an animal, but you did see some sort of disruption caused by evidently nothing, and then you saw them get attacked. And you hear Kohl's pistols off in the distance. You saw this giant fan of Daedalus' design hit something. So what do you do?
So am I on like above the ship now, or like right
no,
behind
you're still trying to catch up.
Okay, so I'm still dashing the 120 feet that I was last time. So I want to continue to go to the ship.
Okay.
I want to get as close as possible to the ship.
You will be there in 2 rounds
Okay.
at a dash.
At a dash. Okay. Then I will continue dashing for the ship.
Got it.
So, do I see him
Mm-hmm.
fly past me?
He's not quite there yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull out of my pack the rope and make a lasso out of it.
Oof. That is a tall order to do while you're swimming.
That is true.
I will say this. I will give you a sleight of hand check to make the lasso at disadvantage because you're trying to tread water at the same time.
Miracles happen. Okay.
Difficulty 16 on this.
It's exactly 16.
Was it?
What is my mom? So, yeah, 16.
16. All right. So that was with disadvantage, right? Not
Yeah, that
Okay.
was with disadvantage,
Alright,
but
cool.
I have my proficiency inside of him.
Okay. So as you're treading water, you reach into your pack. You pull out your silk rope, the rope that you were given, and you quickly fashion a very rudimentary loop, a lasso. What do you do? That's going to burn your action.
Yeah. So
So the next round, he should be passing. You guys should be passing each other.
okay, so when I'm gonna hold my action then to yell at him.
Well, that's a free action.
Okay.
So you can take a free action at any point in time.
Okay, so I'll wait till this.
You can hold your action to. Well, you can't even hold your action because you use your action this round. So okay, so you'll have to wait till the next turn. Got it. Okay. Daedalus Hartwell.
Okay, well, first I'm going to. Is this thing elemental speed? So I'm gonna ask him, like, basically, what did we do?
What languages do you know?
Probably good. Well, right now just common and Elvish.
Okay. Yeah. So with your free action, you ask it. It does not seem to heed your words.
Okay, well, I just guess.
Make a perception roll. No, you know what? Make an intelligence check.
Cool. Minus 1.
8. You don't really know much about these types of creatures. You know that some of them regard them as sort of like legends and myths. You know some peoples even kind of worship them as sort of deities. You don't really know if they speak any sort of language. So, is there anything you want to do?
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to attack it again.
All right, go for it.
But this time I am not going to Eldritch Blast it.
All right.
I'm going to see what blight does to it.
Woo!
Uh-oh.
He is pulling out the big guns. I love it.
Blight.
Hit him with some blight. Yeah. So let's go ahead and take a look at Blight. So necromantic energy washes over a creature of your choice that you can see within range, draining moisture and vitality from it. In this case, not moisture, but definitely vitality. The target must make a Constitution save throw. The target takes 8d8 necrotic damage on a failed save or half on a successful. So why don't you go ahead and tell me what your spell save DC is.
So it has to roll against 16.
All right, let's do this. What is it?
16.
Failed save. Alright, so 8d8 necrotic damage.
Booyah!
Yeah.
So I got 2 of them.
Here, here's
'Cause I've only got one of them. So.
5. I got 5 here.
Okay.
And here's another one.
Alright,
Okay.
cool.
Hey, you.
I need dice to roll.
Yeah. Give.
Oh,
6, 8.
you got him? Okay, cool.
Oh, let's get these all over the bowl.
I'm so excited right now.
So we got, let's see. Ooh.
I
4,
hope we didn't get that.
5, 4, that's 9. You don't want to know. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Ooh, 23 points. So as you cast your blight spell, I got it. You said 23?
Yes. Damn.
Nice, dude.
Thank you.
You definitely see that this thing took the full brunt of this spell. You almost see the wind that it comprises its form kind of stop for a second and slow down. The water that is being kind of churned up by this air elemental seems to kind of like slow and kind of peter out. You definitely heard it. Well done. Is that going to be the end of your turn?
And then I'm not there's no sort of melee range with this thing. I'm not a melee.
No, I
Okay,
wouldn't
so
say. I mean, you can get in melee. No, you are in melee because it hit you. And I missed one of attack of opportunity on you when you swam away. I completely forgot about it.
Me too.
Yeah, it's alright.
That's why I
It's
did
alright.
it.
I goofed that. It's alright.
Guess who didn't say nada?
You betrayed me.
Sabotage.
You son of a bitch.
I love it, but
Alright, inspiration for your betrayal.
It's treason.
Stab in my back.
So I just,
Bro, he's in a human.
I guess, even if I dive underwater, I can still take a sweat to me, right?
You can try.
I still think it would take a sweat.
You can try.
So I'm gonna just,
I can't tell you what's gonna work and what's not gonna work.
I'm just gonna stay there for now.
Okay. Good enough. Alright, now it is its turn. Man, Daedalus, you are hurting this thing something fierce.
It doesn't like me right now.
No, it does not like you at all. It sees you as the biggest threat, so it's gonna do... a whirlwind attack. Okay, I need you to make a strength save throw, please. DC 13.
20.
Alright.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ow.
So you see the air kind of turn up, almost like very similar to like a dust devil, but on the ocean you see kind of water, almost kind of like a water spout around Daedalus. You see for a second Daedalus comes up out of the water about 3 feet, but you manage to kind of stay in the water and not get thrown. You don't take any damage. Yeah. Well done. All right, so that is actually going to end its very inane turn. Kohl, you're up.
Aww.
You see Daedalus is being attacked by this somewhat invisible force. You did see Daedalus utter some magical incantation, and it seemed to lose a little bit of its form and its force. So what do you do?
Okay, so I'm going to make the same attack I made last round.
Go
I'm
for
gonna use my last grip point to make a violent shot.
So what is it? 3 now? Is is the breaking point on?
2.
2.
There's
Report.
1 per grip point. So it'll be 2 on that one, then a normal attack, and then I'd also like to use my, which I forgot about until now, my extra attack.
That's right. You're a fighter.
Yeah, I'm looking through the fighter
Yeah.
page. I'm like, oh, that's handy. Okay, so I will roll one at a time so as to not confuse myself.
All right. Don't forget to keep track of your bullets.
Oh yeah, yep. Keep it very close there. Okay, so this is the violent shot. Natural 20.
Whoa!
That one I will take that. Put that one away. And then this is the other normal attacks. Second gun. 24.
That's a hit.
And then let's roll for the extra attack. So that was going to be 27.
That's a hit.
Okay.
So all 3 hit. So let's do all these rolls individually because your first one's a crit.
Yeah.
So you're going to double the dice on that.
Okay. So it's going to be 2d8 is the double plus the 1d8 from the violent shot.
Right. Plus your dexterity modifier. Don't forget to add that.
Plus dexterity
So
mod.
plus 4, plus 1, plus your roll. And you're doubling your dice on that roll.
Just roll plus 5. So that's 12. That's 17 on that.
Okay.
And then it's going to be my second attack, the normal shot. And that's going to be, so to that one, I'm just adding,
It's just the roll.
it's just, so that's
Right.
a 7, so that's 24 total so far. And then this one is going to be another attack with my plus 1, so that's going to be 2. So 26 total damage.
Well,
What was the last one?
It's I rolled a 1 with my plus 1
So
gun.
2 total.
So 2, yeah.
Isn't the 17
No,
doubled?
Yeah, your extra attack. No, just the first one is.
Oh.
So your extra attack, because it's a regular attack, you get to add your dexterity modifier on that one as well.
Oh, okay. So that's right. Okay, so
So it's 1 plus 5 plus 1. For a total
so
of 7.
Yeah. So it would be 29. If I'm getting it correctly.
Got it. Alright, guys. Kohl, you hit this thing in what you perceive to be center mass. Basically, you're looking at the most chaotic area of action, of wind, mixing with the water. You take aim, you hit 3 right in center mass, and it seems to again start to kind of discorporate a little bit. Well done. Anything else you want to do?
Now that I am already out of melee range, I'm going to keep moving away from it.
Okay.
Another full movement.
Gotcha. Another 15 feet?
Yep.
Alright. Next up is going to be Barag.
Okay, so you said 2 rounds, right? So I just got another round.
So we got another round before we
So-
catch up to the ship. This round you do see you are coming up on Terra High.
Okay, so
You are going double movement though.
yeah.
So you can slow down and lose ground, or continue to move at double speed.
I will, and I see Terra, right? You said I see Terra coming up on wherever she is in the ocean. I'm just going to continue at double speed past
Alright.
Terra.
Okay. All right. So the next round you'll be there.
Okay.
All right. Tara.
So he's above me.
Yeah. You see the wings of the fly beating at a very furious pace. It's just causing wisps of ocean water to erupt right past it, kind of leaving a wake right on the surface of the ocean as Barag is kind of hunkered down as low as he can, to kind of keep that wind resistance to a minimum as they're going as quickly as possible toward the ship.
So, I'm gonna yell out to him, Barag, catch! Does he hear me, or?
Make perception roll. Difficulty is 8. I mean, you see her, you know she's there.
Yeah. Okay. Whether or not
It's just whether you hear her.
You said perception, right? I will pass you an inspiration for the roll of 4.
Alright.
And throw that away.
Okay.
Reroll this and roll this one. Okay, it's an 11.
11.
11.
Okay.
I will do that.
So you definitely do hear her yell out to you.
So I
I'm gonna throw the lasso.
Understand they're going at double speed.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pocket my sword with my hand still on the reins and prepare to catch the lasso.
Sure.
With my right arm.
Okay. Go ahead, Terra.
Might as well try.
I'm trying not to react. I'm just like,
Like I can't hold it.
It's D&D. You can really
Absolutely,
do anything
absolutely.
here.
Yeah, it's the beauty.
20.
20. Alright. You definitely you take the lasso, you toss it up to Barag, you time it perfectly where it goes right around his wrist. Barag, I need you to make a strength check at disadvantage. You are going double speed.
Yeah. Oh my god. Strength, you said?
Yeah.
21.
21. At disadvantage?
Yes, at disadvantage.
Alright, so you are now dragging Terra Highhill, who's almost doing sort of like a skiing thing on the back of a fly.
Yes.
This is an amazing picture.
Yeah. In my head.
Yeah.
Loving it.
So, but yeah, you have her by the wrist and you're dragging her, and she's slowing down the fly a little bit. I mean, she's causing a lot of drag now.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be a couple more rounds.
Shit. Okay.
Alright. So next up, is that going to end your turn, Terra?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Daedalus. I did not think that this is going to happen when I woke up today.
Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, this is fantastic, though. Daedalus, you're up.
A halfling
So,
skin.
Yep.
one more blight.
Woo!
Yay!
Last spell slot.
Here comes the blight.
So
He's so happy with himself.
Yeah.
Look at him.
I know. I got to roll against your 16, right?
16.
So, like, he's so fucking happy right
Yeah.
now. Look at him.
And praying.
Oh my god!
He failed.
Hey!
Woo!
Look
Okay.
at how happy.
I
love it. I love it.
Gonna need all that
This is
back.
better than Christmas.
Like,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just need one more. Thank you very much.
Look at that smile.
I love it.
oh my
I love
god. Woo!
Damn!
So we got see that an 8. This is 6 or no?
6.
This is 7. So let's see.
Looks like 6. 2 6.
12, 20.
Okay, stop.
Is it dead?
Describe your moment of victory.
So I
Hey!
raise my hands up and I just shoot out a beam of that horrible light right at it.
And yeah, and actually when you shoot that blight and you hit it center mass, you just see this concussive force of basically just concussive force as it explodes outward. You see rings, almost like dropping a pebble in a stone, but a pebble into a still body of water. That's what you see happen, but it's like 100 foot of just. Well done, Daedalus Harlow.
Oh!
You guys were wrecking machines. Jesus Christ. All right. So you're gonna take any movement?
Yeah, I'm gonna swim towards Kohl's direction.
Okay. All right. So we will go to Kohl.
I reload my guns.
There he is.
So I remember to do
There's
that.
my man.
Yeah.
All right. So
And then I look at Daedalus Well done.
Thank you. Jeez, that came out of like nowhere.
I look around and I find my, if I can find it, my powder keg.
I was just thinking about, I wonder if he's going to look for his powder keg.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know where it is. You see it. You see it kind of bobbing.
So how far away is it?
About 20 feet.
Okay, cool. So I swim over to it and I just kind of like, without like sinking it, I just kind of like try to throw my arms over it,
Sure.
see if I can use it as like a...
Yeah, absolutely. The both of you can, if you just kind of hold on to an edge, you can definitely use it as a flotation device.
Okay.
It will basically cancel the disadvantage on any sort of constitution saves that you have to make.
Okay, cool.
So-
Are there any land masses near us?
You are in open ocean. You are in open water, and there's a storm bearing down on you.
Okay. Well, that's not good. Okay, then I am going to just float there and not expend any more energy than I have to.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. All right. Back up to Barag. Still traveling?
Still gunning for
Okay.
the ship.
For the sake of the narrative,
Mhm.
we'll say that you two are floating. Do you plan to move in the direction of the ship as you float, or are you just gonna conserve your energy, or what is it that you want to do?
I plan to, well, I'll move in the direction of the ship. If it looks like the ship is just completely sort of getting out of our...
I will say, make a nature check.
Nature. Good. You know what? Just for funds, I'm gonna throw an inspiration.
Sure.
And switch my dice.
Give me that one.
Switch my dice.
This dice?
Yeah, just give me that.
Oh.
We're probably not in charge.
I'll set it aside.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, isn't that the one that...
Cursed.
I did not get that.
I think that one's
Christmas for
cursed
him.
too.
That
It's not
one,
the one.
I don't know where it went.
So just use that one for now.
Back to this.
Oh!
Get out of here.
That's killing you.
I believe in it.
No, you know what? Let him hang himself with his own rope.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Hopefully
use
not
that
literally.
dice. The bad luck dice.
Yeah.
Better. So not necessarily all bad. 9.
9. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this. You do see wreckage and debris from the dinghy, some of the supplies that were on the dinghy. You may be able to grab some of floating sediment to make something to keep you floating aloft a little bit more.
Okay. So I will do that then. I'll gather whatever I think would contribute towards that and try to cobble something together.
Sure. Well, you definitely see all of the ponchos that were given to you, the rain ponchos that were given to you at Walter's Gate.
Okay.
The rope has sunk, the anchor has sunk. I will say that you find about 6 pieces of wood of varying sizes. The longest being about the size of this table, about 5 feet long.
Okay.
Just kind of floating on the surface of the water. And that's kind of what you can scavenge off the debris.
Is it obvious to me how I would go about actually building something?
You tell me.
Putting something together. So I have 6 pieces of wood.
I mean, I can't tell you how you're going to do
ponchos.
it, but...
I don't have any rope to hold anything together. So
I'm going to let you ponder that.
okay,
And, I mean, you guys don't have to do anything with it.
right.
But there is some debris that you can try to kind of MacGyver.
Okay. So I'll just say for now that I kind of gathered it together.
Sure. Okay. All right. So you guys are coming very close to the back of the ship.
As I approach, can I see where, like, you know how those, you talk about the orbs?
Mm-hmm.
Can I see where exactly, if there's any kind of trail or anything from those orbs that are under the water now?
You definitely can tell that they are submerged. They're probably about 10 feet below the surface.
Okay.
You see the ones that had the kind of amorphous water creatures, kind of glowing blue.
Okay. And so at this point we're just reaching the back of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Is Terra within range of getting onto the back of the ship?
She's behind you.
She's behind me.
You're pulling her behind you.
So I reached the back of the ship. She's still a little bit behind me.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna. How close am I to the ship?
You can reach it
Okay, I can reach it.
with an athletics check at disadvantage.
What I'm going to do actually instead of that is swing the fly to the guide the fly to the left and swing Terra towards the ship.
Okay. Make an athletics check at disadvantage.
Oh yeah. Okay, I have 11. And 11. So that would be 9 plus 11.
9. Oh, okay. So okay.
Yeah,
So 20 total.
Yeah.
Modified 20. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, sure enough, Barag takes that rope. He kind of wraps it around his forearm a couple of times, kind of pulling you a little tighter. And with both arms, he swings as hard as he can. You get propelled right out of the water and poof, right on the side of the ship. I need you to make an athletics check to hang on to the side.
Kohl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Modified 20.
All right. So yeah, you definitely kind of you have your nails kind of dug in with one hand, and you have the a dagger kind of with the other. So yeah, what do you do? Well, that is that gonna end your turn, Barag? Because you took an action to do that.
I took an action to do that. Yeah, so I'm gonna take movement just to the left of the ship where I saw like the orb, glowing blue orb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stay right above it on the fly.
Well, it's really close to the ship.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's on arms that kind of fold underneath, almost underneath the ship.
Oh, okay.
And then when they go up, it kind of folds back up.
So it's underneath, just like right underneath.
Yeah.
the
So
ship? Okay. Sorry.
if this is the ship,
Yeah.
it goes like that.
Oh, okay.
But you can see it underneath the surface of the water. When they go up into the air, it kind of comes up.
Okay. It would take an action to jump down to that blue orb, right? And like jump on top of it.
You know, I'll give you movement.
Okay. I'll take movement to jump off the fly down onto top of that orb,
Okay.
plunging myself into it.
Okay. I will say, well, it's going to
That would
take
be
it
an action.
not to plunge your swords in it. Like if you want to get there,
Yeah. No problem.
just by jumping off the fly,
Yeah.
not a problem.
Okay.
However, if you want to attack it, that's a separate attack. You're gonna have to take an action surge.
You read my mind.
All right.
Action surge to when I jump on top of that blue orb to plunge.
Go for it.
My sword. Well, it would be only one sword, right? It would be one.
Yeah,
right?
it would be one.
It would be one. Okay. So I will action surge to jump down on top of the blue orb and plunge my sword into it. Natural 18. Booyah.
Natural 18. All right,
Yes.
nice. So yeah, we'll go ahead and roll your damage.
Sweet. So 1d8 coming in. Too bad it couldn't have been a 19. That would have been a crit. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
16.
Total damage. Yeah.
All right. So you come down with your sword. You see the shape of the glowing blue orb where that water creature was. You line yourself up. You stand up in the saddle of the fly after having heaved Terra high hill out of the water and onto the side of the ship. Terra, you're climbing the side of the ship. You've got your hand in the planks, in between the seams of the plank, and you're climbing with the dagger in the other hand. You look over to your right and you see Barag kind of looking down, and you see him kind of like stand up in the saddle. He kind of lines up and he takes his sword out and just jumps right into the ocean. And you hear a kick crack as the sword penetrates the jewel, the cell. So what do you do?
So at this point, I action surge.
So you action surge.
Yeah. So
I will say I need you
Okay.
to make a strength save, or just a strength check, an athletics check at disadvantage, because you are moving very fast, to hold on to the sword that is embedded into this cell.
Yeah.
So essentially, you're just trying to hold on now.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, 17 and 23.
Woof. All right. Barag Drak, scion of Clan Drak, son of the stone. You are underwater, holding onto the hilt of that sword that is deep in that cell, with the water elemental in it, and you are not letting go.
Jesus.
I can
This just keeps getting
So
crazier
good.
and crazier.
All right, Terra, what are you doing?
So dwarves can fly, dwarves can swim and hold onto swords underwater.
This is the biggest party split ever.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
You guys are long
Yeah.
gone. We're floating on a barrel, and you guys are at the ship.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta let somebody hang themselves. All right, so Terra, what are you doing?
So I'm actually gonna use stealth to climb along the.
Make a stealth check.
Inspiration that one.
What was it?
2.
All right.
Don't worry. If it was halfling luck, I would be shouting into the
That's
others.
true. That's true.
Okay, that's not bad. 19.
All right, 19. So I almost see Terra high hill with like a dagger in her mouth as she's climbing up the side of her ship, or what used to be her ship. But yeah, you manage to sneak onto the deck. Your feet very, very silently land on the wood, the fresh wood of the extension that was recently built. But you're on there. But you also see about 15 crew, including that Goliath, the giant Goliath with the malformed goblin at the end of the chain, kind of on his shoulder, almost like a parrot. And every once in a while you hear it say, "What he said! What he said!" So what do you do?
I want to see if I can find a dinghy.
You can find definitely lifeboats.
Okay. And approximately how many are there?
Let's say they're 4 per side. As you know, well, make an intelligence check.
19.
19. You know it's almost modus operandi when you're on the sea to have all of your lifeboats stocked with provisions, emergency rations, fresh water. It's what you do when you're on the boat. If you have lifeboats and they are kind of stowed on the deck, ready to be deployed and kind of lowered by ropes into the ocean, they kind of have all the provisions that a crew would need, and then they are tied with a tarp on the top to keep water out of them.
Okay. So I'm going to remain in stealth. And approximately how many feet is the closest away is the closest lifeboat?
I'll say you landed right underneath one.
So I'm gonna, and it's tied by the rope.
Yeah,
it's like hanging.
The way the lifeboats are, yeah, they're hanging off the sides. They're suspended by ropes. They're designed to be deployed easily. There's a wooden peg, and the ropes are kind of tied around this wooden peg. And the way they deploy is you grab the handle of the wooden peg, you literally just lift it out of its housing, and then the lifeboat just drops into the water. It's made to be deployed very quickly in case of an emergency.
Okay. And there's 15 men?
At least. You know there's more under deck.
Underneath, yeah.
Right. A full crew is anywhere between 80 and 100.
Okay. So, as she looks at Griselda and the mess,
Well, you don't see Griselda anymore.
she's not there.
She's probably in the quarters in her personal quarters being tended to. While you do see her first mate, which is that Goliath, who's kind of like calling the shots on the deck. You just hear him, calling out orders. Come on, boys, faster, faster! And he kind of points to a couple of what look to be magic users. He's like, get these creatures under control! And you hear one of them say, we've lost one. One is about to be released from its housing. What do you do?
So, I'm gonna have my hand on the lever and then my crossbow aimed at that little, what is it, the
Goblin?
goblin?
Okay.
And I'm gonna shoot at it, and then after I'm done shooting, I'm gonna release the lever, if that's possible, instead of using a second attack.
I will say you're going to be able to do one or the other.
Okay.
Because both are going to be an action. To deploy the lifeboat is definitely going to be an action. It's not going to be a bonus action. It's not going to be popping like a health potion.
Okay.
So you can deploy the lifeboat or you can take the shot.
Okay.
Unless you have two actions in one turn, which I don't think you do in your class.
No, just my dual wield.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. I'm gonna deploy the lifeboat. Just thinking of my odds
All right.
and since we left 2 people behind, probably, and our boat is
2 on a collective perception roll.
Our dimwits.
So yeah, they are dimwits.
Can't see shit, Captain.
So take your inspiration. So yeah, you managed to deploy the lifeboat, and they're too busy kind of dealing with Felda Gwinmyl's injuries and just trying to kind of get away. And they're kind of in a state of panic. You hear them say, "Gotta keep ahead of those wolves, boys! Fix this!" So yeah, it's like all hands on deck. Right now, just trying to figure out a way to get airborne.
Okay, so I'm already in the dinghy and landed, right?
Yeah, you want to deploy with
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna look for Barag.
Oh, Barag's on the bottom of the ship. Speaking of, so Daedalus, you guys are kind of just floating. The boat is too far for you to see now, but you are still floating. What do you do?
I look at Kohl and I was like, well, do we just stay here and hopefully someone comes?
Yep. That's about it.
That's the best role playing I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
It's no land in sight, no ship in sight. We have to hope they find us.
Yeah, well.
And I'm gonna those ponchos that we retrieved. Does it appear like I may be able to use them to tie any of this wood together? Are they that pliable?
They are. I mean, you can kind of twist them into some sort of a rope.
Okay.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I'd like to attempt to take this wood I gathered and tie it, starting with the largest pieces, tie as much of it together as possible.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Number 1 is going to be a survival check.
Okay.
This is going to be you kind of like sussing out in your head, how am I going to make something that flows out of this mess?
Okay.
So go ahead and make a survival check. The difficulty is going to be 18.
Okay. I got 5 modifier. So
Alright, go for it.
17.
Oh!
Ouch.
I'll tell you what. It's going to take you a little longer, but you think you can maybe make something that works.
Okay.
I will say make a sleight of hand check. This you cannot fail.
Okay.
Difficulty is Going to be again 18.
Alright. Natural 20.
Natural 20. Alright. So very quickly you start going to work. Take the poncho, you start twisting it until it's very, very rigid and tight. Start kind of taking these planks of wood, laying them straight, and as you're kind of treading water and you're making, you know, a sort of makeshift raft. Put your gunpowder barrel toward the back, kind of floating. Make something that floats.
Is it large enough for me to like lay on?
It's about as large as this tabletop.
Okay, so probably I could get Daedalus on there and then just like squeeze in.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys spoon, I'll give it to you.
I mean, is the water cold? Or...
It's freezing. It's the ocean. You're above the deepest trench in the ocean. So yeah, it's cold.
We may need to for survival. You know.
How very Titanic.
Oh.
No, we're both gonna survive this one.
Wait.
Which one of us? He's the larger one, right? So taller. I mean, he's an elf, so I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So you're a
little
more like
you're a little bit more beefy.
You
You got kind of like that Chris Pratt thing going.
probably okay. That's right. Okay, so you'd probably be more like the spooner.
You want to be the inside or the outside, Daedalus?
You have to be the outside, I think.
I think so.
It's larger surface area.
Yeah. He looks like an outside.
How about instead of resorting immediately to that, I'm just going to do exactly what I did on the water, but just on the plank of wood. I'm just gonna kind of lay on my back and try to leave enough space for him to, you know, get on and stuff. But I'm just like just laid out trying to rest.
All right. Sure. I'll let that slide for now. But once the waters start getting a little rough,
Okay.
you know, otherwise the minnow will be lost.
We'll need to
So-
we'll need to join forces.
Yes.
I thought the same thing. It hit me like, oh, that does not sound right.
Too bad Greer wasn't here. He'd love it.
Oh.
All right. So back to Barag.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So I'm still holding on to this. If I was to try to make an attack with my other sword, it would be at disadvantage. I'm
Absolutely.
assuming. If I'm trying to hold on with one hand and trying to hit with the other. Okay.
At this point, you're going so fast. You are underwater. You've been under there for 6 seconds. You're going to be at disadvantage for just holding on.
Just holding on. Okay.
Something to think about.
Do I have to make that roll first to hold on, or can I attempt? I want to attempt to pull the sword down so I can open the casing of the cell.
It's just an attack roll.
Yeah, so I will do that at disadvantage.
I will say because the sword is already in there, you would have had advantage.
Okay.
But because you had disadvantage,
It just
cancels it out as a regular normal attack roll.
sweet. That works for me. Natural 18.
Okay. So you kind of carve into the connector that connects the cell to the actual ship, to the arm, and you just carve it right off, and you see the cell just kind of float down to the bottom in the deep dark trench. But now you are kind of loose in the water. Yeah. You're gonna have to make a athletics check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Isn't that where'd that fly go? It's still flying.
It's up there.
It
lasts for 12 hours.
It's just chilling. Can I? Okay, let me make this athletics check.
Maybe
I'll do
call
that.
for it.
So that would be a modified 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do that at disadvantage?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yeah. No, I did not, but I will do it right now. Modified 19.
19. All right. So you are in heavy armor. You are not going to be able to last much longer. And in the distance, you see Terra High Hill on top of this lifeboat, kind of with a paddle. As a matter of fact, Terra, it's your turn.
Do I see Barag at all?
You do, and you see the ship almost come to a complete stop. It is slowed down, now going at the normal pace of a regular ship.
So I'm gonna...
Now, it's slowed down comparatively to what it was traveling at.
Yeah. So I'm gonna reach out for Barag.
You're gonna have to paddle to him.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna paddle to him.
Okay.
To where he's at.
I will say you can do that within this round.
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
You're gonna help him on the ship? Okay. All right. So no strength check or athletic check involved. You grab him by his armor, you pull him up, and he flops right into the lifeboat.
As that happens, I just hold my alchemy jug up in the air.
You're
Exhausted.
exhausted.
Okay.
Every single muscle in your body is on fire.
I'm done. I can't do this.
Pretty much.
I need a nail.
So the ship continues to sail away. What do you guys do?
How close is the fly?
I'd say it's probably kept pace with you.
Okay.
But you no longer see Daedalus and Kohl.
Oh shit.
So I'm gonna look back between the
You
ship.
need to make a navigation check for the last location. Because you do not see them.
Mm-hmm.
You see a storm. The storm is obscuring your vision of the stars. You will be at disadvantage.
Halfling luck. 22.
That was for the first roll.
You said
You're
at
at disadvantage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, halfling luck on the one,
No.
right?
No.
No one. That was your first roll.
That's a reroll.
Oh, okay. 22.
All right. It's hard to see the stars through the storm clouds that are coming, but you know the skies well. It's almost like, you know, looking at every little detail of your face. You know, you've been looking at it your whole life, so you have a pretty good approximation of where the stars are right now. And going by that, you can tell where you were initially on that map, and you can get back to it relatively easily. It's going to take you probably about 10 rounds.
So I'm gonna
You guys were hauling ass.
Yeah.
I look
So-
at Terra.
And last you saw, they were
Yeah.
getting attacked by something.
Yeah. So I look at Terra and, well, it looks like we gotta go back for the boys, but I have an idea. And I reach into my Dungeoneer's pack and I pull out my rope and here you go, sailor. And I throw her the rope and hook it up to the fly. Let's do this. Hook the boat up to the fly. Let's go. We gotta haul ass. There's a storm on the horizon.
I agree with you, and then I'm gonna look back at the boat, and I'm gonna look towards where we're supposed to go. It's not worth it anyways. Let's get our boys back home.
Oh, trust me, I don't know if you know, but I did plenty of damage to the little ship.
I can tell. Now let's stop talking about your ego and let's go.
Aye, let's get a move on. But you're piloting. I'm gonna chill out in the boat. I can't do this.
He's on a cruise. He's on a Carnival cruise line right now.
My arms hurt and I need a nail.
Yeah.
Why don't you just take off the damn armor?
Aye, well, I'm kind of afraid I'm gonna lose it. You know I hate the
It's
ocean.
gonna be on the dinghy. Where is it gonna go?
So
Well-
are you guys? What are you guys doing?
I'm paddling at this point, like as I'm
Okay.
yelling at him.
Attach the rope to the fly, you idiot.
I'm not doing that.
Yes,
Paddling.
we need to get there faster.
So at this point, I'm just humming and paddling.
Okay. All right. So easy enough. You start paddling. A few minutes go by. The ocean is eerily still, and off in the distance, you see a disturbance way off in the horizon, kind of where the storm clouds are coming from.
So I sit up and just raise both my guns in anticipation.
It's almost like the whole horizon. Make a nature check.
Seven.
All right. You don't know what it is, but it's big and it's coming with the storm. Daedalus, you can make a nature check too as well.
Yeah, 17.
17. That's a giant wave. and it's going to hit you guys. Giant waves like this are known to crush regular ships to splinters.
Great.
It's called a squall.
I just like look over him. Well, it was a pleasure fighting with you today.
So, see you when I see you.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be with both of us still living.
Let's hope.
One for you and one for you. That was a beautiful moment. Alright, so you do make it. And you, I will say, because being on the sea is in your blood, easily enough, you've seen the storm clouds and you are looking out at the horizon and you see it. You see the squall is coming. And it's coming right for you. This is where we'll pick up next time, guys.
Oh, 2 weeks! Oh, that was a great session, though.
Guys, this was so much fun.
This was a great one.
High ocean action, fighting pirates. I love it.
Yeah, it was.
Breaking Parlay. I did not expect that.
I was not expecting that either.
Yeah, I can almost see like desperation in Terra. You know what I mean? Like, oh fuck, what do I do? Anyway, that was a great session, guys. You guys killed it. I feel like it's been a long time since we were actually rolling combat stuff, right?
Yeah.
It has
That was a
been
heavy
a while.
mix of combat and
drama.
and-
Yeah.
Dialogue,
It was
yeah.
great. It was a good balance.
Yeah.
It was a very good balance.
Oh yeah.
Good lord, Daedalus, though.
I think I've learned though. I've learned that I don't need to put you guys up against like these world-ending monsters every session. So
I kind of want to shoot at the wave.
oh,
see what happens.
you know what? I can definitely make that happen.
Maybe it's a sentient wave. Maybe.
No worries.
It's a sentient wave.
So yeah, we had a lot of fun. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. I know 2 weeks is a long time. Hang in there, guys, for all 3 of you who listen to the show religiously. Anyway, so we'll be back in 2 weeks. Once we are back, we will continue the adventures of Valor's Ransom out in the middle of the ocean on one lifeboat with a squall a-coming. Other than that, that's it. Everybody, please be safe. Everybody's going to Comic-Con, be safe. Everybody's traveling overseas, please be safe. Play D&D, be awesome, and love each other.
Yes.
Yeah, good night, guys.
Good night.
Daedalus, you killed it, man.
P.S. Barag.
You all killed it, really. You all killed it. You guys did amazing things today. All of you.